All right, we're here. There we are. All right.
Hey, I see myself.
Yeah, sorry about that. Let's adjust that. Kyle Wright, unprepared. Who would have imagined? Who would have imagined? Microphone broke off. Drew's not here yet. We're on Drew Gorman time. Drew is on his way. Should be here momentarily. Everybody out there, welcome to Leave It at the Table. You're good. You're good.
Rachel for the save.
Miss Rachel, you're awesome.
Miss Rachel.
I mean, what else would you call her? Like,
Well, that's the YouTube lady.
oh,
You don't know Miss Rachel? Your daughter's too old for Miss Rachel, huh?
yeah.
No free ads. Welcome, everybody. Leave it at the table. Kyle Wright, Drew Gorman will be here shortly. Got special guest in the studio tonight for the first part of our restaurant special. I'm going to call it Inside the Restaurant. Part one tonight. I don't know how many parts this is going to be, but I know it's going to be more than two. This is going to stretch out probably into the early parts of 2025 as well, obviously. I got tonight Mr. Chef Ross Robinson. How you doing, brother?
Doing great. How are you guys?
Man, fantastic. Glad to have you here finally. A lot of, you've been supporting us in the YouTube comments and everything. So glad to have you in studio for the first time. I joked earlier that having you here, unfortunately, means I lose a viewer tonight.
Yeah, but you got dinner.
I did get free chicken enchiladas out of Ross being here tonight. So shout out to Ross. And Drew, we'll see. I think you're probably watching. If you're on your way, bud.
He's on his way.
I'm
gonna eat him.
You may have gotten saved a few, but we'll see if they survive the next 15 minutes or however long it takes you to get here. You heard the voice, you see the face. Mr. Chris Infinger is here as well. Chris, how are you?
I am world class, brother. How are you?
Ah, man, I wish I could say the same, but things are getting better. We'll start the episode tonight.
I'm in hospitality, Kyle. So
world
world class could be bullshit.
world class is bullshit.
It is.
It is. It absolutely is.
Yeah.
Everybody, I kind of try to give updates on my knee as I get them here on my physical condition. So I'm happy to report that I'm able to start a little light physical therapy. So yay, everybody.
Yeah.
Kyle can start bending his knee, and as you can see, I'm sitting more comfortably tonight. We're chilling in here.
You got the Jimmy Buckets jersey on.
You got the Jimmy B jersey on.
Bringing the Heat. Like
Heat
Jimmy
playing the
Butler.
Orlando Magic tonight. Got NBA action started back up. Baseball season. The World Series starts Friday. The big money World Series. But it's an anomaly in baseball. But that's not why we're here tonight. We're here tonight to talk about the restaurant industry. And you two are two of the best chefs I know. Two of the most popular chefs in this area that I know, and that's not a stretch to say. You guys have good followings. You guys have worked all over Bay County. So I want to start with you, Ross. Talk about your experience in the restaurant industry. Talk about why you became a chef, and talk about if you want to name drop where you are now, you can. If you don't want to, then that's okay as well.
So,
because there could be criminalizing stuff said out loud tonight. So if you don't want to say specifically where you're at right now, then I understand. But well, yeah. So where you started, why you did it, where you are.
So I had a dream a long time ago to open up my own restaurant, start my own business. I looked at my bank account. I had like $46. Said that's not going to work.
Kamala country, baby.
Looked at my credit score. It was like 460. So I know nobody's going to give me a loan to start my own restaurant. So at that point, a Le Cordon Bleu commercial showed up on the TV. I'm like, aha, culinary school. If I graduate from culinary school, some idiot's going to give me money to start my own restaurant.
What was the culinary school?
It was Le Cordon Bleu.
Where's that at? Is that just an online? Or?
No, it was one of the big nationwide ones. This is when Food Network blew up, and everybody thinks being a chef is really cool. It's very glamorous. There's no long hours, no late nights, no stuff we're going to talk about later on happening.
No mental health crisis.
I mean, just to step in with Ross here. So what happened was there was a lot of culinary schools in the country that were for-profit education. The government cracked down on that, and including the school I went to also went out of business. So like Le Cordon Bleu happened to be one of them also. And that happened to a lot of us across the board because there's no for-profit education anymore.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So then I decided to go on to culinary school, got accepted to two. Actually chose Art Institute to graduate from just because it had a better program. It was more in the city of Minneapolis, so you got more of the downtown vibe and more of the current vibe compared to being out in the burbs. Kind of like Panama City Beach, 30A vibe compared to being out here in Callaway.
It makes That's it. Being in the suburbs as opposed to Paradise is yeah.
So my last year of culinary school was the prime polar vortex where I froze my ass off for 4 months.
At 2016?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I was actually I was in the Army. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but I was in the Army for 6 years. Did a full term. My last 2-week stint in the Army, we did a training mission up at Fort Dix, New Jersey. And so first time I ever saw snow was that big polar vortex, the biggest blizzard in the history of the Northeast, they said.
Yeah, in my time in Minneapolis, the Metrodome roof collapses because there's 26 inches of snow on top of it, and Brett Favre rolled his ankle and couldn't play that Sunday. So the roof decided to collapse, so the streak could keep going on.
They played that game in Detroit?
No, they played that game, ended up playing that game on the next Thursday at the University of Minnesota Stadium.
Okay, that's right.
TCF Bank
Yep.
Stadium or whatever it's called nowadays.
I remember that.
That was their old one, right?
It's the same stadium, it just got renamed.
Yeah. By the way, I went to Minneapolis this summer. Super cool town.
Yeah, Minneapolis is a
Really
great
cool
town.
place. Really cool place. Great
been
food
there.
town.
Really?
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, phenomenal food
I'm
town.
gonna add that to our agenda tonight.
Phenomenal
We'll talk about
culture
food towns.
town.
Yeah.
Um,
I watched the Twins. I had a Cuban sandwich from like their Hall of Famer. Like Minneapolis, super impressed. Food town, way underrated. Way underrated.
yeah,
Yeah.
amazing. But also negative 43 degrees outside in the wintertime, and screw that.
Yeah, that's why I found out that they had like they have this really cool
The Skyway.
Yeah, Skyway. So all the buildings downtown are interconnected, and it's like 15 kilometers worth of buildings that are connected, and you can never go outside. There's people in like flip flops in the middle of winter. in
Fun fact, I
Minneapolis.
got lost in the Skyway. Almost ended up like in the middle of the Target headquarters, except security stopped me, even though I was walking with a purpose.
That's probably why they stopped you.
Just carry a ladder. They'll let you right in.
Walking with a purpose. Hey, if you guys are in there, or if you're watching, drop a comment. Let us know you're watching. We'll give you some shout outs here. Shelby, that's my baby sister. Shout out to you. You did good on your picks last week, by the way. I think you went 7-8, but everybody else went 8-7. So that's not really that much worse. She was the only person that picked NC State over Cal Berkeley last week. So shout out to Shelby picking Oregon, but spelling it Organ. So it was fun. So shout out to my baby sister and her watching. Also, if you're watching, not only drop a comment, hit the share button. That's the easiest way to support us. We want you watching, but we want to get past you. We want your friends to start watching us. We want your friends' friends to start watching us, because we believe what we do here is good. We believe we have a good product. We believe we have a good show. So we want to venture out. We want people to start watching. So
And your Facebook stalker should watch us too.
yeah, your Facebook, yeah.
You have a Facebook stalker?
No, but
Everybody's got a Facebook
Well,
stalker.
everybody's got a Facebook stalker.
I have a feeling a lot of people Facebook stalk me, bro.
Smash that share button.
yeah, just hit that share button for us. So anyway, Ross, you can keep going.
So now that I had a culinary degree, I'm like, I can get a job anywhere in the world I want. So I decided to move to North Carolina. Moved to the Triangle area, did some cooking in Durham, helped open
Okay, so I was just about to ask, what part of Carolina? You said the Triangle area.
Yeah.
That's what, Durham?
Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill.
Okay. That's my buddy Scott, who has a question for you guys tonight. Scott Hollingsworth used to live in Goldsboro, obviously about an hour and a half east of Raleigh. Anyway,
So I moved there for a few years, bounced around restaurants here and there, and my dad had some friends that moved here and bought a house, an extra house, and they're like, y'all can move down if you come here. So I'm like, okay, cool. Hurricane Matthew hit. I had a fishing trip planned on the Carolina coast, so apparently I can't go fishing in the middle of a Category 2 hurricane. So I decided to come down here and fell in love with the Panama City area, fell in love with the beach, the white sand, the glass. The reason everybody comes down here to vacation.
right.
Got hooked up at the Pearl, and it was one of the biggest growing experiences I had professionally, working for Chef Matt and Chef James.
That's a big time restaurant, by the way.
Yeah.
Big time restaurant.
So I spent a few years with them at the Pearl, and then started branching out on my own a little bit. Ended up just now going back to St. Joe about a year ago, and now it's where I'm at for the next year or so.
So let's move on to you, Chris. Where you started, where you've been, where you are. I mean, we met. So Chris used to run a restaurant on the beach called Bo's. Chris is the one, pretty much the reason why you're watching what you're watching today. Chris got me into podcasting. I got myself into podcasting. Chris got me to the next level of podcasting. That's fair to say?
I still believe in Kyle Wright.
Aw,
Yeah,
I believe in
100%.
Joe Hendry.
Yeah, and actually, all three of us met at Bose because Ross and his dad Pops and Kyle and him will tell you about that benefit and what they do. His dad used to come eat at Bose all the time with him, and like
We actually met at ESPN
we did, but then you started
then-
coming to Bose and like
because the food is phenomenal.
yeah, and then I met Pops and like. I like you, Ross. You're really cool, but your dad was a fucking cool guy, man. Like, sorry for cussing, but he deserves that level of coolness. But anyway, yeah, like, so I owned a restaurant on the beach, but I got my start really young in the restaurant business. So about 14, I started making subs at Lenny's Giant Subs, which is used to be a Jacksonville-based company. And then I started hotline cooking whenever I was like 16. Working a fryer, definitely illegally. There's laws against that now. At a local sports bar, I won't say its name. Definitely probably shouldn't have been employed there, but I was. Anyway.
Was that in Jacksonville or?
No, that was in Panama City.
Okay.
Lenny's was like a Jacksonville company. They just opened one in
Speculation Nation. Let's try to
yeah,
figure this one
yeah.
out.
I worked
I'm
at
gonna
a
try to
sports bar.
dig- I'm gonna try to dig this one deep.
I was frying wings, and like this old dude who was the fry cook trained me, and he was fantastic. Like he would be like, "Hey, bro, drop them holes in the fryer, did a bug," and like I just learned kitchen experience, like the old school way. And then I went to culinary school whenever I graduated from Mosley. 7 days after, I packed my things, put a trailer on a truck, and drove to West Palm Beach. And I went to a culinary school called Florida Culinary Institute. And I ended up getting another job at a sports bar shucking oysters. And I was 18, and I definitely ended up later on losing that job because the owner thought I was 21, and I was drinking shift drinks every night. But anyway, it was a great place. It's called McKenna's. McKenna's in West Palm Beach, Forest Hill. It's great. But then I started getting into higher end foods, and I worked at this place called Cucina del Artes on Palm Beach Island.
Never heard of her.
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I burnt Jimmy Buffett's pizza there. Burnt it. The late, great Jimmy Buffett. I burnt his pizza.
Did he kill you?
No, but the chef almost did. His name was Chef Kent.
Redacted.
Chef Kent, who still owns that restaurant to this day, and he still works in it every day and still cooks, which is super impressive.
Unheard of.
Yeah, like
Leo's barking. That means Drew's probably here.
Security alarm's going off.
yeah.
Yeah.
Leo is the cutest little black dog. He's fantastic. I like Leo.
Ankle
But,
biter.
Yeah. I mean, you know,
Should
it
get a
makes
real-
sense for you.
One day I'll get a real dog, but for now
He is a real
Leo
dog.
works.
You be nice to
Ron
Leo.
Swanson said,
What did he say?
"Any dog under 50 pounds is a cat, and cats are useless."
If a cat was over 50 pounds, it would kill you.
That's fair.
It would.
It would definitely eat your lasagna.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, for
sure.
Garfield, I like the Garfield
Like,
reference.
would anybody in America have more than, like, not named Tiger King, have more than a 50-pound cat? Look at this guy. Speaking of cats.
Nice, there we go. I can switch the cameras now.
Speaking of Tiger King,
Yeah, speaking of Tiger King, I see what you did there.
Comes in double fisting.
go Tigers! Yeah, it's a double drink kind of night.
Yeah, I mean, this is we're back to like when the podcast first started. Drew Gorman.
I'll buy you more.
You're good. You're good. You're good. So welcome in. Drew is here now. The gang's all here. Once again, guys, I see some comments coming in. We do have a sports question that we'll get to towards the end of the show from Josh Mitchell. Sports, we obviously, you guys know, every episode we make picks at the end of the show. You can't have Chris here and not talk a little Florida State football, so we'll get to that. Obviously, Ross, Green Bay looks good right now. The Saints do not look good right now, but LSU does.
Hey, we re-signed a Camara. That's all I really care about.
There you go. Hey, who dat, baby? So that deal came across my phone, and I texted Drew, and it said Alvin Kamara gets $24.5 million. And I'm like, whoa. That's a lot of money per year for a guy that's putting up like 8 yards a game. And then I look at it as a 2-year deal. It's like $12.5 million per year. So it really works out well for the New Orleans Saints. But
I'm happy with it.
I thought that was
Yeah,
his
it's a
annual
good deal.
salary, and that's why I was like, oh,
I mean, still $12.5 million
12.5
for a running back.
In today's
I'll
day
take the
and age.
half.
Shelby saying,
Yeah, I'll take the $500K.
Shelby saying about time, Drew.
Hey, I'm
Shelby's
still,
also saying she's a stalker.
still here before you. So
Ooh, shots fired.
Damn. Hot.
Yeah.
She's going to move to Oregon.
Yeah, hopefully she can spell it.
All right. So we talked before the show. We had so many topics that I don't have written down. I have questions that I prepared, but if there's any tangents, anything specifically that you guys want to talk about, obviously feel free
Hey,
at
Drew.
any point. At any point, please take over and you guys can start going down your tangent. But the first thing I want to ask you, we talked for a minute there. You guys mentioned Minneapolis, excuse me. Minneapolis is that's like you'll get murdered if you say Minneapolis up there.
Might get murdered anyway there.
That's fair. That's fair.
Just
But,
don't go into the Target headquarters.
Oh, we already talked about it.
I survived.
But food towns, we mentioned that, and I added this after we talked about it. I'm somebody that likes to travel only around the country. I'm not an outside of the country traveler, but my wife and I were looking to find some more places here in the country to go check out. What are some of the best food towns you have found across the country? We'll start with you, Ross.
Minneapolis is definitely up there. Durham's moving up the list too, and their food towns. DC, of course. I still got to get to Charleston. I've yet to eat my way into Charleston, but it's on the list of.
My wife was born in
I need
Charleston.
to get
We
to.
got to get there too.
Yeah, you need to go to Charleston for sure.
We had a long layover in Dallas one time, and we did it on purpose. It was during COVID. We wanted to go check out that area because when we first got together, our ultimate goal was we want to move to Texas one day. So we were flying into Indianapolis because you know how flights work. You fly from Panama City to Dallas, and then from Dallas to Indianapolis. So we're flying to the Midwest to fly back over here to the Mideast or whatever you want to call it, Indianapolis. I don't necessarily think it's the Middle East. And Drew Gorman coming in with some chicken enchiladas.
No way.
Congratulations,
got 'em?
Drew. I didn't think they were going to survive that long, to
Nope.
be honest with you. I know
I had
you're
the
hungry,
under.
by the way.
Hey, I'm just here.
I know you're hungry.
So I'm gonna pull the mic away from me so you don't.
No. It's
okay.
This
It's
was the
okay,
plan.
bro.
This was part of
Oh,
the plan.
this is the
Yeah, you're
We're just
eating
gonna hit this
Ross's
little button.
chicken enchiladas on air.
We're just gonna. Here it is,
Yeah.
everybody.
Look at that.
Let's just.
One bite. Everybody knows the rules. 1 to
That's
10.
disgusting. All right, back to, we had our long layover in Dallas, and we went and checked out obviously, it was only for 10 hours, so we only had time to really go to one restaurant, but a little brunch place. It was probably like they say everything's bigger in Texas, bro. It was a massive, massive brunch, and everything was so good. So Dallas is good for the one place I've eaten there. Cincinnati's good.
Yeah.
Cincinnati, don't you fucking talk. Don't you say anything
I'm
bad.
not saying anything about the
Cincinnati
Reds.
chili. No, that's
I
cool.
would never.
No, I talk shit about it. Bro, you talk bad about the Reds. We don't talk bad about Skyline on this show.
Oh,
though.
Skyline.
We don't talk bad about Skyline on
The
this
only
show.
time I've ever eaten Skyline was out of a can. Is that how it comes?
No.
Like
so,
naturally?
Like the
Is that how it grows on trees?
it grows in the can. They go out to the river. You pull the can off the tree. You just got to put a little of the Ohio River water in and mix it. It comes. You
Holy
have to
shit.
hydrate it.
Oh.
It's dehydrated.
I'm
off
thinking
the
you
tree.
have the Elpo line on this side and the Skyline line on that side.
Oh.
Same factory.
Oyster crackers are underground. You got to dig them up.
You do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
real thing there.
I would be remiss if I don't give a shout out to Chattanooga. Lovely food town. It's a small big city. It's a small big city. It's like any other city I've ever been in because it's small enough to where you can still go into restaurants and still go into like a Walmart and see the same people and everybody you see the same cashier. Everybody knows who you are, but it still has the metropolis. It still has the big sky rises, the crazy big hotels. It's a great touristy area. But it's a great food town, and one of the main things that my wife and I really miss about that area is especially moving here. There's not that many there's not that much of a variety of different restaurants. It's mainly chain, couple mom and pops, and then seafood.
Tourist trap.
Seafood.
New
Not
Zealand
just
seafood.
Overcooked
Fried
seafood.
Yes.
Fried,
Overcooked,
fried
In-
overcooked seafood from New Zealand.
In Chattanooga,
if we're lucky.
Yeah.
Mostly Thailand.
Yeah.
in Chattanooga, you could go home at any time and be like, okay, I want Vietnamese for dinner. I want Asian for dinner. I want Mexican
Vietnamese
for
is
dinner.
Asian.
Yeah,
We don't do racism on the show.
He's
We'll
saying
go
he could do
past that.
banh mi's and pho for dinner if he wanted to, which is we
Retweet.
have 2 places in Bay County that we can do that, and he can get it at midnight in Chattanooga, and we can't.
Hey, this is why we brought chefs, because they knew the difference.
Banh mi,
Chinese
for-
food,
you know,
Asian food, all of it. It's
For
great.
anybody that doesn't know what a banh mi is, it's a Vietnamese sandwich that's made with pickled vegetables. It's absolutely delicious, and
Phenomenal.
I'm gonna say it on air, and we might have some comments about this, but it is better than the pho. Okay, like get a banh mi first.
Yes.
All right, start small.
Banh mi is a top 5 sandwich.
Yeah, for sure, top 5 sandwich. Yeah, banh mi's made well.
What kind of
Oh,
vegetables?
Usually it's like pickled daikon, pickled carrot, pickled onions.
What's a daikon?
daikon?
Okay, there we
It's
go.
a giant.
Radish that looks like a toy that you would get at Adam and Eve shop.
Yes.
At Adam and Eve shop. We're Googling this right now
Yeah,
on the show.
daikon radish.
Isn't that where they sell like
Kyle's
Bible
definitely
book
seen-
holders?
Yes.
Kyle's definitely seen one of these before. He just saw it in a porter potty outside of Sharky's. If y'all know that story, he has seen a daikon radish. Have you
seen-
not, Kyle? Right?
I have seen a daikon radish.
Oh,
I don't have the screen record thing on tonight. Oh, hell.
that is
Darn it.
interesting.
Anyway, y'all Google daikon radish.
Yeah, that's
Matt, everybody wants Vietnamese at midnight. Let's be honest.
DAIKAON, by the way, not the way I spelled it, which is DICON. Because I'm an idiot.
Dick on.
Dick on.
It makes no sense if you Google it.
Oh, hell. It looks interesting.
I mean, they have long, slender ones. They have chunky
They
ones.
have one every size.
It looks like if a carrot
Every
banged,
size.
like if a carrot banged a scallion.
No, that's just an albino carrot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a parsnip. Is a albino carrot.
Anyway,
Yeah.
everything else that goes on it.
Parsnips. They sell them at Publix.
They sell these at Publix? Daikon
Yeah.
radish?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, sometimes
And parsnips.
and parsnips,
parsnips.
which is a white-looking carrot.
Good to know. No free ads, but go to Publix for all your daikon radish needs.
Yeah,
Daikon radish. What?
That does not sound anywhere near daikon radish. Every time I hear radish, I hear rash.
You're on your first date and you get in your date's car and there's a daikon radish sitting in the seat. What's your reaction?
Oh, we had the show going off the air or off the rails in 15 minutes.
she's.
Oh, you're a chef?
I'm just gonna
I
be
hope.
like, I'm gonna be like, what's this happy ending like? I don't know what to say, Kyle. Right?
Speaking of which, our thoughts and prayers with Deshaun Watson going through that injury last week.
Oh, jeez, Louise.
All right. Anyway, off the rails. Off the rails. Good God. Good God. Thank you guys for watching. Matt Seedorf, shout out to you. Lives up there near Big Bend, Indiana. Florida State plays at Notre Dame this year. I was going to try to get up there, but then I got fired, literally.
Hey, the best team in Indiana.
I think he would probably agree.
Who's yours?
Is it time we start taking them seriously? But
We
that's
have
a,
to,
That's
bro.
a conversation
Like,
for
for real?
another.
Well, we're
That-
picking an Indiana game tonight.
54
So
points. Come on.
That's
yeah, we are picking an Indiana game tonight, so there will be a chance to talk about the Hoosiers
Okay.
right now. They're getting College Game Day this week over LSU,
are.
Texas A&M, which I think that game maybe if it's in Baton Rouge, but they've already been to Kyle, Texas this year, so I think that's probably why. Also,
no, they've also
but-
never been to Bloomington.
I was going to say,
Ever. Yeah.
what opportunity are you going to get here? You got a team that played for the national title last year.
But that's also going over LSU and A&M. I mean, outside of the SEC, does it really matter at this point? I think it means more to Indiana. I think
Oh, yeah,
I think
for
it
sure.
means more up there right now than another game day. Which good on game day for doing that.
Yeah, no,
because normally they
absolutely.
go to anything SEC, anything in
Ten.
top tier Big
Yeah.
Ten.
Yeah, well, I can't believe they didn't choose Florida State, Miami. My God. Okay.
I said Big Ten and SEC.
That Notre Dame Navy game we are picking later as well. But back to it. Talked about food towns. I want to
Milwaukee's a
I
really
never
good
got
food.
to. I never got to say a food town.
No, well, go ahead. Get back
No,
in it.
I'm offended by that.
Kick me off.
Yeah.
Well,
no,
you
like
Don't you dare say Panama City.
there are some
I've been spending
good-
my whole life trying to make this town better with food.
This
There
is
are
also
some
true. This
good
is also
restaurants.
I have
here.
failed.
Hey,
There are some sleepers here.
There are some. We can talk about those, but I think Drew said where he's from, and I think anywhere in Appalachia right now is really doing food right, especially. And I kind of consider. I know it's not in the mountains. People don't kill me about this, but Nashville's a great food town.
Yep.
Like quickly approaching top 5 in the country food town.
Hattie B's for being a food chain is probably some of the best.
It's the best fried chicken that you want.
It was insanely good.
And what they've done in 12 years, like
and it's the same every single time.
it's incredible.
Really?
What
Okay,
they do.
so
it's nuts.
It's the Chick-fil-A. Hattie B's, everyone. Like, not to give shout-outs on your show, Kyle. Sorry.
No, my sister and I have a
No
great
free
experience
ads.
together in Nashville. She'll love this.
But Hattie B's is, like, better than Chick-fil-A.
Ooh.
For
I mean,
sure.
it was delicious. My dad almost died there.
100%.
Funny story. He got the spiciest one, bro. Like,
Oh,
he got
no,
the
you don't
hottest
do
one,
that.
And
You
then
don't
it
do
went down
that.
the wrong tube.
You don't do that.
We thought we thought we were gonna lose our father that night.
Yeah.
It was
It's delicious. Nashville, great food town.
So, one of the questions that I had that popped in my head today whenever I was installing numerous amounts of window treatments this whole day.
no free ads.
No free ads. Sorry, let me cover my shirt real quick.
Yeah.
What is one of the dumbest requests you have gotten from a server that a client, a customer has ordered? Said, "Hey, can you burn my steak? Can you double fry my fries? What is the dumbest request as a chef that has pained you to do it to the food? You're like, no, this is not how it's supposed to be served.
Or like you refuse to do it. Yeah. Like,
Or go that line if that has happened.
Please.
I'll let you go first.
Cook,
You're going to
fellas.
let me go first on
Yeah.
this one? Okay. Man.
I'm pissed off at the gluten allergy or the gluten intolerance.
Ooh. Let's
I mean, like, that
I mean,
happens.
if you
Let's open
have
that book.
if you
Yeah.
have celiacs, I feel 100%. I feel horrible for you.
Do you feel like that's more of a popularized than
Or
it is like
there's
real?
a radio DJ / podcaster here that told me that they're allergic to onions. And apparently they're not allergic. They just don't like the taste of onions.
Because they've never had onions
Yeet.
that are really good.
No, you.
They've never had onions that are good.
No,
like,
I've had onions that are great. I've had onions like great to you guys, but they taste like I'm chewing on like fiberglass.
well, if they're done right, it doesn't taste like you're chewing on fiberglass.
they're disgusting. Anyway,
yeah.
that,
to Ross.
that's funny because I was gonna make that same comparison. Like I'm allergic to gluten. Like
Yeah,
no, you're not. No, you're not.
I had a lady the other day tell me she was allergic to corn.
Corn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the band.
Yeah. Like corn with a K? Because I can understand that, but sorry, Scott. I know you're listening. You probably listen to corn.
We love Scott. He
We
doesn't
do.
like
He's great.
like corn.
He doesn't- he doesn't.
like corn or Metallica
Wow.
That's shocking.
for being a rockhead.
He is.
I like
Music's
corn.
next week. I'm excited to open that book as well.
I like corn.
I do
I
too.
love corn. Cream corn is great.
And
Cream corn is great.
I don't know if I want to watch that though. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, that feels good. Okay. Anyway,
Don't be giving out free ideas, Kyle.
It feels good.
Ross, please start talking.
Please start telling us about these gluten assholes, please.
I mean, it's not just the gluten. Now it's whatever the hot topic is that I'm allergic to because somebody tells me on Instagram that I'm allergic to this. And like I said, if you truly have celiacs, I feel horrible for you because you got about 10 minutes before all hell breaks loose. And that's never a good thing.
Yeah, I mean it's very serious, and the fact that people are taking advantage of that is disgusting. But cook anyway.
The worst thing that I have ever been requested, and it's really not that bad, but I mean, it is bad. There was a customer at G Foley's whenever I was there.
Ooh, name drop. No free ads. They're closed.
I mean, they're closed. They're not.
Yeah, we
open
can't get
anymore.
you Foley's tonight.
I feel like we could talk about that later if you want. But so they ordered a filet mignon and they wanted it cut into strips and they wanted me to deep fry it. and I did it.
Wait, what?
Yeah. They
A
wanted
filet?
They wanted an 8-ounce filet mignon. Okay, and they wanted me to cut it into strips. So like, I just took an 8-ounce filet. Everyone knows what a filet mignon looks like. I cut it into strips. They were from Idaho, by the way, because I asked where the hell they were from that they would ever order this. And I cut this filet in strips, and they wanted me to deep fry it, and I charged them $42 for deep fried filet mignon. It was 5 what they called steak fingers.
That
Yep, that happened. I did it.
that's the closest I've been to crying on this podcast.
$42, dude. 5 pieces of deep fried filet mignon for $42.
I mean, I'm not
Nowadays.
mad at it.
it was well done.
The only thing I'm mad at is it was a filet mignon. Like, do that
Yeah.
with a sirloin.
I mean,
Some
just order country fried steak. Go to Big Mama's on
Yeah.
the Bayou, which is delicious. But
that's one of them like hidden gem.
yeah,
restaurants here
bro,
in
that
Bay
place
County.
is bringing it.
Yeah,
It's
Big Mama's
good.
is dope.
It is. So yeah, I deep fried a filet mignon one time. 5 strips. Like, it was an 8-ounce filet. I
Wow.
cut it in 5 pieces. I deep fried it. I sent it out. They ate it with mashed potatoes, double mashed potatoes, and brown gravy.
Good Lord.
We've
Poke
had
him with a stick and he's
yeah.
dripping gravy.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
We've had I worked at an Italian restaurant, and up until recently,
Worked.
where
They're
past
opening.
tense.
They're
Past tense.
opening.
I didn't start the fire.
They go open.
Yeah. So worked in an Italian restaurant, and maybe this doesn't sound like stupid, but if you know food, if you know how sacrilegious this really is, we have people often ask for chicken parm, but they want it grilled. Which, okay, like, you're not getting chicken parm. That's not chicken parm. Don't order chicken parm. If you want grilled chicken with spaghetti sauce and cheese, then order that. Like, order a spaghetti and meat marinara and add chicken to it. But don't tell me you want
Can I
chicken
get
parmesan.
gluten-free chicken parmesan?
I'll slap you in the mouth, dog. Like,
I'm so sorry.
it's probably it's not the most ridiculous request I've gotten, but it is a ridiculous request that I've gotten often, like as a server. And I've spent some time as a cook, but I've never been a chef. So how about for you, Ross? I know you working in you work in like Spring Break Capital there at the break room for a long time, right there at the capital of Spring Break.
We really didn't get a whole lot of that there, though. We got the pool players, and that was it. People would want things left off of the potatoes we would already pre-make, or not really pre-make, but a pre-designed potato. Like, for instance,
Oh, we're out of beer?
I'm like 3/4 of the way done with this one. And I already finished that one.
Anyway.
yeah, it was just things requested left off,
Closest
but
to
nothing.
the door, Drew.
You are closest to the door.
You are closest to the door. And you were late.
And I was late.
you were late.
BRB, homies.
Thank you. I really love you. I missed you so much.
There's cookie dough whiskey in the freezer.
Ooh.
Not for me.
Anyway.
But yeah, there's really
I'm
nothing.
unemployed.
At the break room, there was really nothing too crazy at all. I can't think of a whole lot of things I wouldn't do, except, like I said,
Deep fry filet mignon.
yeah, I would not deep fry filet.
I did do that.
I
At the
can't
Pearl, Chef James had a big issue with people getting a burger cut in half.
Like for the customer?
Yeah.
Dude, okay, so that is
We
something.
would give you a knife and extra plate, and you do it at the table.
that's
We are
something
not cutting
that's-
a
like
burger.
there's rules against that. Like there's
Some places, yeah, for sure.
there are some rules against that, but there's also like, dude, because if that burger loses some of its quality by me cutting it at heat, like before it gets to your table, you're gonna bitch about it, right? You're gonna bitch about it. Oh, this thing's kind of dry. Well, it got cut 5 minutes ago, and it's just been sitting here drying
Yeah, I mean,
out.
like, once we put a knife on it, like, it's your responsibility then.
Yeah.
Like, and that happens. You see that in restaurants, like people that order medium well or well done stuff. Like, yeah, Brian, I see you. I see you, bro.
Couple of comments. Danielle Guillory commenting and saying, "I had someone tell me they were allergic to salt."
That person is lying.
They're definitely lying.
They are lying because salt occurs naturally in our body.
Ooh, grilled onions are good,
My
bro.
dad says they used to emulsify the onions in my food. He never knew he was eating them.
Man, I love your dad. Like, that's so great that he did that for you. Like, you got the right nutrients.
They're disgusting.
Pissed me off that fillets were well
Do you like
done.
garlic, Kyle?
I love garlic.
Garlic's
Yeah?
an onion.
Okay.
I mean, it's a
I
nightshade
don't-
for sure. Like,
I mean, it's in the same family.
I don't like
allium, yeah.
cool. I'm just telling you that anytime, okay, number one, it makes you cry when you eat it or when you cut it. Why do you even trust it? Why do you even trust it? If it
A lot
makes
of
you
people
cry?
don't. Do you know that like monks, Buddhist monks don't eat any alliums, so no garlic, no onions, none of that stuff. No,
I just found out I'm Buddhist.
Yeah, it throws off like whatever they believe in. It's a real thing. Yeah, they don't eat any of that stuff.
So I'm just respecting their religion, Dad.
Yeah, he's which is hard to believe. I know.
Ooh, Brian Graham. I struggle with pizza, spaghetti, and type of foods that are spicy or have a shit ton of spices because I feel like I'm gonna get sick. That might be like a red sauce thing. A lot of people.
Yeah, Brian,
are
that's
intolerant to-
called indigestion, brother. Yeah, it happens with anything that is super acidic, especially spaghetti, pizza sauce, anything like that. Yeah, I would just
Avoid tomato sauce.
avoid tomato sauce.
So let's talk about that because Matt Seedorf commented that it used to piss him off when someone would ask for a filet mignon well done. That's to me. How do you eat your steak? Let's go around the table. How do
Yeah,
you,
sure.
How do you eat your steak, Drew?
No mas ultras.
Okay, well that's depressing.
Medium.
Medium, and what cut do you prefer?
There's a cut that they do at the Carousel, the Monte Cristo. Not the Monte Cristo. It's Del Monaco.
Oh,
it's a and medium.
Okay. How about for you, Ross?
It depends on what cut I'm eating. The fattier, the more well, but I won't go anywhere past medium. So like ribeye, New York, I'll go medium. A fillet, rare to mid rare.
Okay. How about for you, Chris?
It's pretty much mid-rare across the board.
Across the board, me too.
Yeah.
I'm across. I don't care if it's a. I don't really eat sirloin. I try not to. I'm a bone-in ribeye, medium rare fella.
Would have never guessed that.
I'm sure you're a tomahawk kind of guy.
He's definitely he eats it with his hand for sure, don't you, Kyle?
So I can't afford real tomahawks. So I've always gotten the ones from.
Neither can Tallahassee this year. And I'm a Florida State fan.
Hey,
But
yeah,
for real.
I was gonna say it's okay coming from him.
Friendly fire.
If I say that, you shoot me across the table. If he says that,
I just
If you say that, you're just reminded of the last two opening seasons before this season.
That's why we're
Exactly.
struggling. We didn't get our usual tune-up game. at the
Yeah,
beginning
like
of the
where was
season.
LSU this year? Like, could you imagine
we were USC's punching bag?
Florida State and LSU in Dublin, Ireland, and what kind of shit show that would have cost? It's
How many
like-
drinks would have been had
Oh,
that
yeah.
day?
Like,
Speaking
what-
of Dublin, Ireland, how does Pat McAfee still have a job after that?
He's great, dude. Like, I have some
Boy
things
was
about him.
Throwing up
Hammered.
on the
Hammered.
air.
People don't like
Hammered.
McAfee, but I love Pat McAfee.
No, I did
I'm a
not.
fan of him too, but how
Yeah,
does he have a
yeah.
job working for the four letters after throwing up in his hand on the air?
because
Because there's three people at this table that love it.
because he got paid. That's why they brought Pat McAfee there.
And I'm
Yeah.
so surprised obviously working throughout the day. Yeah, I don't get enough time to just sit and watch like midday Sports Center and stuff like that from the four letters. But I had my lunch hour just happen to coincide while the Pat McAfee show was going on. And at the very beginning, his broadcast, like that black screen where they talk about like, hey, this does not reflect what you may hear, does not reflect what
We're
the
not
mothership
responsible
does.
for
I was just like, I was like, how is this legal? Like, how do you broadcast this? And he can just say whatever he wants. You put that disclaimer, and all of a sudden he can do whatever he wants. Like,
mean-
what?
If you put a disclaimer up, you technically can do whatever. Like that's how South Park gets away with it. That's how South Park's avoided being sued so many times. If you look at the disclaimer at the beginning of South Park episodes, they literally tell you that these we poorly depict these characters, and this content should not be watched by anybody. They tell you that's the disclaimer at the beginning of every South Park episode. Speaking of disclaimers,
Oh, before we get there, just in case anyone was wondering, they were wonderful.
Oh, they were.
I
Yeah,
wish they
are
were
really
more.
good.
Those
Chef
of-
Ross made some awesome.
those of us that were on
enchiladas.
time got to enjoy them like fresh out of the pan.
Yeah, they were good.
Hey,
They were delicious.
they were still warm. I don't know if Rachel put them in the fridge. She put them in
The fridge wouldn't have heated them up.
Well,
Well, I was in the fridge for about 20 minutes trying to figure out, like, do I
That's
grab
another one of my
Rachel's
pet peeves.
stuff?
What's another piece?
Unthaw. You do not pull something out of the freezer to unthaw it. You keep it in the freezer for it to stay unthawed.
that is true.
What's this mean? I don't-
Explain.
Frozen is unthawed.
Yeah, frozen equals unthawed. If you're pulling something out of the fridge, you want to thaw it out. You don't want to unthaw it.
Can you use this in a real life example?
Explain this to me like I'm 5.
Hey,
I'm
babe,
pulling this ribeye out of
don't-
the cooler to unthaw it so you can cut it tomorrow. No, you're pulling the ribeye out of the cooler to thaw it. It's already froze rock solid, so therefore it's already unthawed.
Yeah. It's
So
kind of like
thawed is
So if
thawed
you,
is the
ready to eat.
yeah.
Thawed is
So
not
you're
frozen.
thawing it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but a lot of people will say the word unthaw.
Or dethaw.
Here, I'll give you one, Kyle. A lot of restaurants on Panama City Beach have to thaw out their shrimp.
True that.
None of them come in unthawed.
That's the least surprising thing you'll ever hear.
Yeah.
If you go to a restaurant, anywhere, almost anywhere here, but I'm not going to say everywhere, but Gulf shrimp is so damn expensive that 90% of places that you order shrimp from here in Bay County is unthawed.
Domestic shrimp
Indonesia.
costs twice the price of shrimp that is from Indonesia.
If you go order a $30 shrimp basket, you're probably getting Gulf shrimp. And it's probably going to be good. If it's a $15 shrimp basket, just know it's going to be good. It's going to be good shrimp. It's like if you're not from here, especially, and you've never had fresh Gulf shrimp,
You aren't going to know.
but it's the same shrimp you would order at the Beef O'Brady's in Manhattan, Kansas,
Yes.
which there's no local oceans in Manhattan, Kansas. Is all I'm
Really?
saying.
No. There's some team that wears purple that who knows what they're playing this weekend.
K-State's pretty solid, I think.
Oh, yeah, they're all right.
They've had a little bit of a lull, but they've been.
They're
pretty
kind of
solid.
like K-State's kind of like TGI Fridays to me. Like they've had their day and they're kind of
They're always there.
yeah. But if that's the case, then we're Applebee's, bro.
Oh my god.
I'm going to timestamp this. I want to...
Your sister's on the same wavelength as us.
I literally had this exact conversation with myself last night, thawed and unthawed. See, Shelby, you should be here.
Yeah.
Thawed and unthawed.
Yeah, you could have had my seat.
If you guys have any questions also as far as food,
Please.
seriously, as far as
send them.
food goes.
Yeah, if you want it,
Oh yeah.
open
please.
book. Open book.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
restaurants or like stuff you
Restaurants,
maybe
food.
always wanted to know about the restaurant that you
Yeah.
maybe didn't
What-
think you wanted to know. Like maybe you're scared to know.
What
Ask
is-
those questions?
What is the hardest thing like that has been on a menu that you hope and pray never gets ordered so you don't have to cook it?
I know this happens.
It does.
Whether
I'm not the right person for this question. My cooks could answer this question because I just don't. I don't cook shit. I tell people what to do most of the time. Like not anymore, but I would say the hardest thing to do is probably properly cooked fish. And I've just been able to train people really well to do that. But if the cook doesn't know how to do it, it could be disastrous and really bad. But yeah, like especially if they're talking fish that can be undercooked, like tuna or something like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people can be taken back by that a little bit. Yeah, it's not hard for me, but it's hard for people that are new to that for sure.
Yeah. I'm the world's worst oyster shucker, so anything oyster related, oh god, I just can't. I haven't found the knack of shucking oysters anywhere near as fast as the oyster people on the beach.
So that was my my second ever job in a restaurant was shucking oysters over at a certain let's say tourist trap restaurant towards the west end of Panama City Beach. I got hired there as an oyster shucker.
Was
and
it
then
past Pier Park?
It was just on the brink of Pier. If you're coming from the east, it's before Pier Park.
Ooh, I know where you're at.
Yeah, right on the water.
Yep.
Tiki. Anyway. I'm not gonna name drop it.
Did you?
I'm just looking at you.
I mean, I didn't dislike the job. I met a
Can I-
lot of great people.
Can I
at that
ask you
place.
one
It was
question?
just-
Did you ever have to throw anyone out of there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know where you're
Yeah.
at.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot. A
Yeah.
lot.
Did you also become a bouncer there, Kyle?
Yeah, I became.
Okay, yeah. I
You
know what
can't be
you're saying.
that size and not become a bouncer.
No,
That's actually how I started there. Really,
This dude with a broke knee is still gonna whoop all of our ass. So let's
I
be
don't know about
honest.
that. I didn't-
Hey, kick him in the knee and run.
I'm sure one of us is going to kick him in the knee.
I'll
would be
let
me.
y'all that get close, okay? I'm not. I'm out. I'm out on that.
There's 3 of us he's attacking. One of us can go for the knee.
No, there's 2 that he's attacking. I am not staying around.
You're the one that started this fight.
I know how to use knives,
Hey,
and I don't have one.
Danielle, I worked with her at that place, putting the FTP. I'll let you figure out what that means.
Yeah. Mahi Mahi. Hey, Matt, guess what? 99.9. Way to go, Kyle. 99.9% of Mahi Mahi in Bay County is sold frozen.
Yep.
Shelby, favorite food meal to cook for me?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
That is going to be most likely risotto. Kyle is a teddy bear. He's lovely.
What's risotto?
Risotto? So risotto is a what is risotto?
You work in an Italian place?
You worked in an
Just
Italian
for
place.
people that don't know.
Come on, man. Read
Okay,
a book.
okay.
I worked at a
38.
30A ma and pa Italian place. Like it was lasagna.
Their pizza is
spaghetti.
delicious and it's
Read a
good.
book.
It's good.
It's some
I
of
liked
the best
it.
pizza I've ever
Yeah,
had.
it's very
I
good.
will
It's
say
good.
that. Some
Yeah.
of the best pizza ever.
Like right when I moved back to town, I'll tell y'all this. Like I was very down and out on myself. Like not to talk about where I came from, but if you ask questions, I'll tell you. But anyway, I went out to where Kyle used to work, and Kyle bought me a beer after I did a hike in Point Washington, the state forest. And Kyle was like, "Let me buy you a beer, bro," and that was really cool. And I think I showed him some things on my phone too on that day, but we won't talk about that.
NDAs, baby.
NDAs, non-disclosures, or all disclosed.
Oh, well.
We're gonna leave it all on the table tonight, right?
Woo!
Let's
Okay,
go.
Danielle. They had bomb lasagna. Maybe that's
They
what
did.
did
They
it.
did.
The lasagna was fire.
Maybe Maybe that's what did it.
Oh,
Everything there was fire by the end. It's all I'm saying. Every
Still under investigation.
it is still,
Oh,
the
yeah.
investigation is still open. So there you go, Danielle. You
risotto's my favorite thing to cook. My favorite thing to eat is Oscar Mayer hot dogs, Bush's baked beans, and Velveeta macaroni and cheese, all at the same time.
a little bit of Skyline chili on them.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not.
I don't
not
know.
doing. We're
I
not
don't
doing.
know
How
what
about
that
for you,
means.
Ross?
One of my favorite things to cook is ribs. I got really good with the smoker. One of my favorite things to eat is anything somebody else makes me.
Yep, that's most chefs. 100%.
You guys are gonna see me working on something here for a minute. So
Okay.
ignore
I'm
whatever's
not
going
sure
on.
why, but what is so they've got those silver bullets down in Seaside.
Coors Light?
No, not those silver bullets. The silver bullets, the food trucks down on 30A.
The Airstreams, yeah.
Yeah, and they've got permanent locations that are there, but there's one of those places that I've got a bone to pick with, and you guys might be able to tell me whether I'm crazy or not. But the one of them is the cheese meltdown place, where they are make very good grilled cheeses, but in the same breath, it's like $14 for a grilled cheese with a little piece of bacon on it. Is that more of they're hiking up their prices because it's in the seaside area and keeping up with the Joneses that are next door? Or is that them just saying, "Oh, we have the best bacon around. Come see our grilled cheeses"?
They do not have the best bacon around. I know the chef who owns that. He also owns Great Southern. He owns North Beach Social. His name is Jim Shirley. And I know that grilled cheese truck does very well.
Yes.
Yeah. It's by far and away probably the best grossing food truck in Seaside. But obviously they can charge $15 because it is in Seaside, but they can also charge $15 because it's Jim Shirley. And I mean, for what it's worth, he's a legend in our area, especially on 38, from Pensacola to 38 for sure. He tried to open a restaurant in Port St. Joe like years and years and years ago, and it didn't work out. Just it was before its time, but yeah, I mean, he's Jim Shirley, and he can sell $15 grilled cheeses if he wants to, and he does. Yeah, like that's what happens sometimes, you know.
I want to. We're gonna mute our mics here for a minute. Now, for the next like 4.5 minutes, I want everybody to see because we got on the conversation of ribs, and it brought me back to a blast from the past.
No way. We're not doing
Brought me
this.
back to a blast from the past. Christopher Enfinger here.
I did do this.
Back when the Right On Network was really flourishing, we had a little thing that we did call How to Eat This. And you did it first. Hey, tell us how did How to Eat This start before we showed this off.
So one of the people I'm obsessed with in the world is Lee Corso, right? He's a legend in his own right. So
Needs to probably retire from television.
he
but
definitely
yes,
does, but
yes.
I just want his last appearance, and I think he does too, to be a
Tallahassee.
Florida State game
Yeah.
in Tallahassee, or at least in South Bend
Yeah.
with Florida State and Notre Dame. Okay, like it has to be. That's where it started. Whatever, we're past that. But Lee Corso is great, and so I used to do this. How do I eat this thing? And I acted. It was acting, guys.
It was a character.
Like it was a character. It was acting.
yeah.
People actually thought that that's how I talked. And then people started showing up to the restaurant and being like, hey, can you do the thing? And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, can we watch you do it? Like,
This got very popular.
it did. It got pretty popular. And then I got very scared that people would think that that's who I am. And I didn't realize like NIL money could have gave me $5 million a year to throw a football very bad, DJ. But anyway, so this is me. It was at the Texas State Fair, as you can see. The background is straight up awesome. The conservatory in the background. And this is me telling y'all how to eat ribs. How do I eat this?
This is one of my favorite ones that we did. We did this in our old studio.
Yeah.
And Drew painted the green screen.
He did.
I
He did.
painted and built the green screen.
You did.
And
You did.
installed.
He did.
I did all that.
Wow.
It was it was cool because we installed like the like curtain racks.
I thought
Yeah.
you were at the Texas State Fair.
No.
Yeah, he was.
I
He
mean,
was.
yeah. Look, clearly,
come on,
you can
look,
see me there.
Look at this.
Clearly.
You can see the poor green screen work.
Yeah, I'm right next to Kirk.
All right. This is for you guys enjoy this. This is kind of a flash from our past. This is how to eat ribs. Oh, come on now. Maybe you should have tested this before we. There we go.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing today? Welcome back to another edition of How Do I Eat This. I got something special for y'all today. Let me tell you what it's gonna be. It's gonna be some St. Louis style ribs. Look at them things, boy. Look at them. Straight off the smoker. Good. Now, this video is how you're supposed to eat St. Louis ribs. Not baby back ribs, not beef ribs, St. Louis ribs, alright? I like St. Louis ribs because there's a little bit more fat on them. And fat equals flavor, y'all. Okay? Now there's a couple things you need when you're eating ribs, alright? The first thing you're gonna need is you're gonna need the right stuff. The right stuff. Get it? Anyway, so the first thing you're gonna need is you some barbecue juice right here. I said it once, I say it again. You give me a little bit of coin, there's about 27 of y'all gonna watch this video. I'll take that black tape off, Buffalo Rock. Anyway, you're gonna need you some barbecue juice. There's a difference between barbecue juice and barbecue water, okay? This is barbecue juice. It's purple. Water is the brown stuff, okay? That's pretty good right there. Alright, next thing you're going to need is some Williamson Brothers barbecue sauce, alright, straight out of Marietta, Georgia. And you need your bowl. What you don't need is this shit. You don't need fork and a knife or a spoon. You don't need that, so we'll throw that over there. And then, so we're going to get our bowl and we're going to put our ribs in there. Now, ribs, hey, listen, I know that y'all might think this is a little bit controversial, okay? But if y'all ain't noticed yet in the other videos I've been doing, hold on, I'm watching wrestling. Some dude's got some other dude on a damn ladder, flipping him into a table. Wrestling's crazy anyway. So you get you your ribs, sauce ribs. You gotta have sauce on your ribs. This ain't Memphis, okay? We like to get our Williamson Brothers barbecue out of the GA. Go Dogs, baby, go Dogs. And we're gonna pour it on there like that. So, all right. Get you some in there. You just pour it on them. You can put it on them on the grill, but this ain't a video on how to make ribs. This is a video on how you're supposed to eat them, all right? So we're going to twist them around, stir them up. Y'all get you, look at that right there. Look at that right there. Yeah, buddy. All right. Now, don't forget, get a metric shit ton of paper towels. I believe these are Brawny. I don't know. Brownies is good though. Anyway, so we got our paper towels and we got some ribs right here. All right. Mm-hmm. Now, ribs. I know. I said this ain't a video on how to cook ribs, but ribs is supposed to have a little tug on them, a little pull. All right. They're like tugboats. They tug and pull. All right. If they fall off the bone, they overcook. That ain't right. All right. When you bite into it, you should see your whole teeth marks. All right. Now don't be shy with these. All right. And get them in your mouth. Get some barbecue sauce on you. That's how you're supposed to be eating them. All right. So we're gonna take this rib right here and we're gonna give it one shot right quick. Look at that. That's a proper eating rib right there. Okay. Now another way you can do it is you can get it in your mouth like this. Look at that. That's pretty good. That make your tongue beat your brain shot to damn death. Mmm. Hold on 1 second. Alright. Then you get your barbecue juice. Get you a sip of that to wash them down. Mmm. And then you get your towels. You get your face cleaned up and you go on to the next one, alright? Well, that's it for this edition of How to Eat.
So
The golden ages, baby.
That was real life.
So
You
a
really
metric
did that.
shit ton is an actual measurement in the kitchen.
It is, yeah. Yeah, it is. Metric shit ton is a lot.
Is that just like you're grabbing as much as you can?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you just kind of, hey, chef, how much? Metric shit ton. And you just keep walking. You don't even give them a chance. You just keep going.
Is that like sending your apprentice out for a board stretcher?
I mean, I teach culinary school, so I have all kinds of things that I tell people. So,
Oh man, those were some great episodes. If
yeah,
you
they
ever
were a
get-
lot of fun.
If you ever get a chance, go back and take a look at those. Those were pretty good.
They're all still on the Right On Network YouTube channel.
They are?
Everything is still there.
Oh my
Those
god!
were-
My
those were
students
fun.
didn't believe me that I actually used to podcast, and I was like, "No, I promise y'all, I used to podcast. I'm on a podcast tonight." And they're like, "No, chef, you weren't." And I'm like, "Tune on in
We'll see you at 7:30.
when Drew shows up."
Seven with an asterisk.
It's like,
7-ish.
We
It's
did
like-
good. We did good for a long time.
it's like LSU, Kyle. They show up in the second half versus Florida State. So, yeah,
First
that was
time.
it. Horns
First time.
down. Yeah.
First time.
Yeah.
First time.
First down.
But hey,
Y'all almost beat us twice.
First time.
first time.
Second time it was not close.
No.
We were there for the first half of the second time.
Y'all are really
and
good
then
this year.
Not
and
there
we're
for
really-
the second.
Florida
Yeah,
State
we're
took
really
off
not.
in the second half of that
We're
other
really
game.
not.
Jaheim Bell inserted himself.
Yeah.
By the way, is anybody getting extra credit by watching this from Chef Chris's class? Please comment.
Oh yeah.
Is one of you guys out there? Will y'all please say hello?
Please. Hello. All right. So, question from Scott Hollinsworth. He had a little question here for you guys. Wants to know your best chicken dish recommendation, because chicken is so universal. Like, there's so many different ways to cook chicken, which I think is what makes it the best. We've had arguments where, like, I think chicken's the best protein, not like the best tasting, but I just think there's so many different things that you could do with chicken that makes it probably the most, maybe the most valuable protein. So, your best chicken dish. What do you got? While they're thinking.
I was just gonna say protein. Yes, another one of those is that's very versatile. A potato.
Potatoes
You
are.
can do a potato in 95 different ways.
You can.
Yeah.
But your best chicken dish.
So I'm going to do a little shameless plug for myself here. Tomorrow I'm leaving to go to Valdosta, Georgia, and feed those impacted by Hurricane Helene. I happen to be serving them smoked chicken leg quarters.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So I got 5 cases of chicken leg quarters today, and I'm going to head up there, serve all day Friday, and just love on people, feed them some amazing smoked chicken leg quarters, baked beans, and coleslaw.
Got the pull behind smoker?
I do.
Hell
Beast
yeah.
is coming with me.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
So, dude, smoked chicken. I'll tell you about some wings I made a couple weeks ago while you're kind of cooking something up there, Chris. Best wings I've ever had came from me. Yeah, dude. Yeah, and so I don't call myself a chef by any point, but I've taken a little bit from everybody that I've worked with, because I've worked with some, whether it's like in the restaurant or I've worked around, like people like you guys. We've spent so much time together. I've worked with Chef Brower, where I worked out at Sharky's, and he was kind of, a little bit of an asshole a lot of times, but the dude was one of the best chefs I've ever met. Sean O'Drain, somebody I've met that I've learned a lot from, and so many others. But I've taken a little bit from what I've met with everybody. So what I did was I took our chicken wings. Obviously, you rinse them, you pat them dry, and then what I would do is I take the olive oil, and then we season them up with some unnamed seasoning from a certain big department store here in Bay County where you can buy stuff in bulk. Threw them on the grill.
There's a really good seasoning that's made locally that's sold in grocery stores.
What is it?
Butt rub. Byron's butt rub.
Oh, I got I got butt rub up in there.
Yeah,
baby.
they're local.
I didn't know that.
Huh.
Well, hell yeah, I've
Yeah,
got butt rub
Byron's
up
is-
in the counter.
Yeah, they're local.
So,
they do a great job.
So my dad was here for that. Excuse me. So I started them on the grill, with the seasoning on, cooked them up, kind of, not all the way, obviously, but you get them pretty cooked up. You take them off. We brought them inside and we finished them in the air fryer, and they were the best damn wings I've ever had. They were fantastic, bro. Yeah, they were really good.
Cool.
The seasoning makes a wing, really. I mean, seasoning and the way you cook it, obviously, but you get those two things right, then chicken wings are just so damn good.
My favorite chicken dish in the world is obviously fried chicken. I love making fried chicken. I love eating fried chicken. And
You
if
make
you
a damn good fried chicken.
and if
He does.
and if
I would have
Yeah,
probably
I
never
taught
been
it-
your friend if that chicken wasn't that good.
dude, I taught fried chicken in class last week, and it's like they're like, "How good can it be?" And then they eat it, and they're like,
Can I come stage for you the next fried chicken day?
Yeah, for sure. Next semester, whenever I do fried chicken, they're just like, "Okay, chef, it's really good." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know it is, dude. Like, there's one thing I can do really well is this. I can fuck up. Sorry, I can screw up a lot of things.
Kid show.
I can screw up a lot of things, but one thing I don't screw up is fried chicken. Anyway, fried chicken for sure. But I would rather have an 8-piece fried chicken than 10 wings, any day. Any day.
Wings are just so damn expensive now that it's like,
That's because everybody's eating them now. Back in the day when they were cheap, we couldn't give them. Chefs couldn't give them away.
my dad's got an incredible story on that from when he had I think it was Frankie D's is the name of the place. It's right.
Frankie D's was awesome. Chicago style pizza. Yeah.
So he had my dad had the first buffalo wings that ever came to Bay County. My dad got to taste test them at Frankie D's essentially.
dude, like when it was on Lisenby?
When it was yeah.
Lisenby in 98.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
now Dad,
awesome.
if I've got anything of that messed up, please. I know you're still
Yeah.
watching, commenting. Like, tell me if I got that wrong. But my dad, like, when they were like 8 cents a wing, essentially, now they're like pretty much $1.50 a wing anywhere you go. $2 a wing.
$2.
every chicken has 2 wings, and every chicken has 8 pieces. So if you order 10 wings, they're going to be more expensive. So just order the fried chicken.
Yeah.
8-piece fried chicken from Publix, way cheaper than 10 wings.
Publix fried chicken is
Is-
probably.
The
Publix
best.
fried chicken is fire.
I eat it all the time. It's good.
I still remember my Bose order. It was 2-piece.
True story, son.
Yeah, there it is. Okay,
Yep,
so
let's
I
go.
nailed it. I nailed it. So 2-piece, both breasts. I'm a white meat guy. I like thighs, but I'm a white meat guy. 2-piece, both breasts. 2 sides were collards, and then the potato salad, and then I always got an extra hoe cake. You got to get the extra hoe cake, baby.
Yeah, those were pretty good.
Jason Buchanan used to slide that to me under the table, and you can't fire him now. So shout out to Jason Buchanan for throwing the extra.
I would never
hoe.
fire. I would never. He's covered for me so many times. That dude could do the worst things to me, and he would never be fired. We did an event together last week where I dressed up as a 1950s ice cream man, and I made ice cream. So I made a bunch of ice cream from scratch, and I did this haunted house where I was dressed up as this really creepy ice cream man from the 1950s. And Jason was the bartender, and I was the ice cream guy. It was so much fun.
I would love to unpack whoever's idea that is.
Yeah, that was like me and a really cool person's idea. But the house was decorated by some other really, really cool creatives. So it was a lot of fun. But yeah,
Let's talk about creativity, because you guys have both been. Have you worked in a fine dining?
I have.
Okay.
Wasn't very good at it, but I've worked in fine dining.
So that's what I was going to. So creativity is a big thing, right? And what's happened now with social media and with, everything in the world, presentation has almost overcome flavor.
Yep.
So how do you have any specific experience with that? And do you agree with that? Do you obviously flavor, to me, flavor is the
So-
most important damn thing, but that's not the way the world works now.
80% of your taste buds are in your eyes and your nose. So you're going to see it and smell it before you even put it in your mouth and figure out whether or not you like it or not. So that's a fact.
That's what she said.
No, that's what he said.
Oh,
Okay.
Live on the air, folks.
you heard it here first.
I have to go potty.
No, that means I have to get up.
No, I can go around
No, yeah, I would go that way. You don't want to talk about presentation here?
around the world in 80 days right here. I'm actually doing. I'll shameless plug when I get back.
Yeah. When you
Yeah.
get back, so I'm gonna shameless plug for Ross while you're in the bathroom. So not shameless whatsoever. So this is a good opportunity, Ross, to plug what you got going on. Obviously, you talked about your travel next week. You're going up to the Valdosta area. Well, I'm sorry, this week. But next weekend, you've got something even more special to your heart happening. So I'm gonna put the poster up there on the board. I know some people here in Bay County are watching. So go ahead.
So it's the 3rd annual Pops Pig Pickin' Barbecue over at the Break Room. It was one of the easiest ways I could come up with to honor my dad, who everybody that's met him has said that he's one of the most phenomenal people that they've ever met. In fact, earlier before we came on the air, Chris goes, "Ross, I like you, but your dad was freaking awesome." And that's what everybody thought of him. He was a dude that would give you the shirt off of his back. He would do anything for you. He was one of the most genuine people that I have ever met. If I can be a tenth of the man my dad was, I'm living a hell of a life. So I decided first year to do a benefit. It was a lot of work, a lot of fun. We raised a little bit of money. Fun fact: the charity I picked that year ghosted me and didn't even answer the text that says I got a check for you, which I don't know what charity.
I remember that. I forgot what charity you picked, but I remember when that happened.
So Wrestling Against Cancer got a nice size donation for that year because I'm not going to sit on money I raised for charity and put it in my pocket. That's just wrong. So then the next year I picked Beach Care Services because I'm friends with Paul Casto, who's on the Beach Care Services board, Boston Tim, who works with Pineapple Willie's, and we knocked it out of the park. I believe we gave them $1,500 last year. My goal this year is to do $2,500 to the charity. I need somebody to help it with the food costs a little bit here. Pineapple Willie's is donating me a case of ribs, and the Break Room is hosting it. Team MVP Leanne has stepped up and gave me a donation, which has allowed me to buy the firewood because I was out of wood. So I bought the firewood that's now going up to Valdosta, and I'll have leftovers for this. So thank you, Leanne. Re-Rack Sports Bar. You guys are Florida State fans. Chaz is a Florida State guru too. So
I think I know Chaz.
it's way out there. I always joke with people that it's on the corner of 231 and the Alabama state line. That's about how far out it is.
It's up there, yeah.
But it's a great pool hall sports bar. Thank you for stepping up this year and helping me out. And obviously ESPN Radio, I would not be here if it wasn't for my connections, meeting all of you guys on the air. I haven't met you on the air, but we've met before.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, go, keep going.
$20 for a plate, whatever I can get donated. Right now it's the ribs, 2 sides. There's going to be another protein involved with that. And then there's a pool tournament that's got a really cool format. They're calling it a spots tournament. So for the lower ranking players, you have extra winning balls. So you don't have to worry about making the 9-ball only. If you're not that good and playing somebody who's really good, you may be able to win on the 6-ball. Mm-hmm. That's $15 to enter as well. And then all the proceeds we make are going up to benefit Beach Care Services, which is an amazing local charity that helps people, gives them a hand up. And that's another thing my dad and I always believed in, was giving people a hand up and not a hand out.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that, man. So, Drew, while they're getting resituated, I'm going to plug what we got going on next week. We're gonna have 2 more guests here in studio. We're gonna be talking music. Oh fuck.
No, fuck. No.
What?
I brought the Bean Boozled stuff to work with me, left it in a cabinet, and then was rushing to get here on time and left the Bean Boozled stuff at work.
Okay,
so,
but it's at work.
Yeah,
it's not
it's at
like in
work.
some random person's cabinet.
No, it's not. No, it's at work, and I brought
okay.
it to work with the anticipation to bring it here.
You didn't want to leave it in the car so it wouldn't melt, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't think anybody's eaten rotten egg jelly beans, so I think you're safe.
Yeah, my boss saw it and he looked at me and he was like, why do you have that? I was like, well, me, you know, I'm doing my podcast on Wednesdays and my podcast show and we've got we had some people recommend that we do the Bean Boozled. He goes, have fun with the barf one.
I'm just letting you know, everything's tasting like barf after I get the rotten egg one. Everything's tasting like barf after I get that. So that's going to be fun. That's coming up on November 13th. I forget what we got going on November 7th, but I believe that is the, give me just a second here.
Is that the front of the house?
I believe that might be the front of the house portion of this here. Give me just, I'm pulling this up now. November 6th, rather, not the 7th. No, that's our fall special, where we found a big fall questionnaire where we're going to sit in here and just talk about why fall is the best time of year.
Yeah.
It essentially is.
College football.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest one.
Vanderbilt beating Alabama. I mean,
Used to be Florida State playing, but now everything else is.
we still play, but
can-
like we halfway show up.
My favorite portion is you can wear shorts and a long sleeve shirt and
can.
be comfortable
That's and flip flops.
and be comfortable. You just described Chris's
You just
attire
described-
Yeah.
to a T.
No, I didn't even look at you. When
I-
that's how I'm comfortable. Long sleeve shorts, flip flops.
Yeah, it is wonderful.
Fantastic.
So
So
it was here last week and it was gone this week.
So that's what we're going to talk. That's November 7th. And then next week, Brian Bassett, David Hayes, both of them making their, I think David's 3rd appearance on the show, Brian's 2nd appearance on the show. And it's going to be a fantastic episode. So look for you guys to be here next week as well as we dive into the world of music with 2 guys who are big creators. And they both play me. And I heard a rumor there might be a guitar or 2 coming in here next week. So
Really?
yeah.
We might need to work a mic section.
Oh, I told him to learn Bye Bye Little Sebastian. Anybody watch Parks and Rec?
Oh, dude, it's the best. It is the best show to fall asleep to. I've seen like every episode multiple times.
So good. I can't fall asleep to that show though because I get hooked watching.
I mean,
I
the
can't
fact
fall asleep
that
to shows in general.
Chris Pratt can act like that is
Yeah.
incredible. Like he is good.
cannot
at his job.
recommend that show enough.
Yeah, he's good.
All right, so we are at about the hour and 18-minute point, so we need to get some of the important stuff in.
Yeah.
Anything? What do you want to talk about here?
I want to ask you 3 a question, and it has to be rapid fire, and it's kind of like college football picks, and I'm putting everyone on the spot, and then I'll answer mine.
Okay.
Ruh-roh.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Focus.
It
time.
might be a
All
little
right.
hard for Ross because he still currently technically works in a restaurant, but Kyle,
I do not technically work it.
Kyle, right off the wrap,
Okay.
best 3 restaurants in Bay County.
Shit. Okay.
Bay County.
Bay County. This is Bay County.
This is Bay County only. Bay County, Florida.
In any no particular order.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, so I'm gonna go the place downtown. I really enjoyed their wings, and I think I've had a couple of other things there. The place downtown is really, really good. Man,
Bay County, that's cutting
this
me
this
down.
is this is tough, man. This is
Rapid
tough
fire.
because there is not.
I know.
I don't know if I can name 3. Is where I'm getting here. Lotus Cafe, Hidden Gem. If you've never been there,
Yeah.
Good.
Hidden Gem, very good food.
Cool.
Haven't been there in a couple years, or I haven't been there. Yeah, about a year or 2. But Lotus Cafe been open for a while. It's hidden right there off of I think Alf Coleman.
Alf Coleman.
It's Hidden Gem, one of the best places. And I'll say Big Mama's on the Bayou. I like good Southern cooking, man. That's the thing I liked about Bo's. Like I love good Southern cooking, and believe it or not, there's not a lot of that here. So say Big Mama's.
Ross, what you got?
Sue's Thai Cafe,
Ooh.
right next to the break room.
Yeah.
What is that?
Sue's Thai Cafe. It used to be Smoking Oz Barbecue, that little trailer right next to the break room.
Oh, it's all like a food truckish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's like a little FEMA trailer.
I will say get you a box.
Get you a box
Okay,
is-
so they're getting
get
a
you a box
restaurant
is-
now.
yeah, they
so I
are.
didn't take that into consideration, but they were a food truck. They're about to have a restaurant. Get you a box probably takes the cake. So sorry,
Finn's in Little Village. Best fish tacos I've had.
never been there.
Fins.
Never been there, but Brian
That-
Bassett plays there.
That was on my that was on my top 3.
And
You got time to prep, dickhead.
I haven't. Well, I haven't been there, so I can't really say it. But the most eclectic menu we have is Hunt and Gather. So I'm going to throw that in there, even though I haven't been there, because it's that place that you can get. You don't get the usual stuff that you get everywhere else in Bay County.
To my knowledge, the best butcher shop in Bay County as
Yes.
well.
Yep.
So
Fins, Copper Tap,
Copper
right
Tap.
there in St. Andrews.
Good.
Accidentally lucked into going there for Valentine's Day one time.
Okay.
my dad.
Yeah, I like your dad's response.
But yeah, accidentally lucked into. We went to a doctor's appointment. I had gotten off work early so I could go to a doctor's appointment of my wife's over in Panama City. And while we were there, we were already dressed up because we were gonna. It was a late afternoon appointment, so we were gonna get done there and then go out to dinner. Well, we didn't know where we were gonna go. We were just gonna go in St. Andrews and just kind of figure out what looked like a good place to us. And one of the nurses was like, "Hey, where you guys are all dressed up. Y'all going out for Valentine's Day?" And my wife was like, "Yeah, we're heading down to Beck Avenue. We're gonna go down there." And she was like, "Oh, are you guys gonna go to Copper Tap?" We were like, "Oh, we've never heard of that place." So we were. She was like, "Oh, it is lovely. Me and my husband love going there. It's so nice. It's great food. You're gonna love it." So we were like, "Okay, well, why not?" We end up going, and we were early enough in the early dinner window that we walked right in, had a seat ready for us. But it was some of the, like, they had $5 martinis going on.
Whew.
That makes anything good.
That's
But,
troublesome. Yeah.
But it was wonderful. They had like a steak and shrimp special for Valentine's Day, so it was really good. My third place, it's gonna be a little bit of a cop out, but DCP.
Yeah.
Me being originally from South Louisiana, it reminds me of home. Because technically, the owners, if you read the little pamphlet, the owners are from Houma, Louisiana, which is like 15 minutes from where my mom grew up, and where maybe 20 minutes from where I lived. So it's technically like reminds me of home with a lot of their food. So DCP.
The Hurricane Katrina transplants.
Yep.
There's a lot of David Snowballs. I maybe should have mentioned them. Those guys are.
That's my number 3.
That's
Okay, well, yeah. Let me hear yours before I cook here, because
Number 1, and it's far and away, it's not even close, is Hunt and Gather. Okay? Like, Hunt and Gather is far and away the best restaurant in Bay County, and it's a long shot to number 2, which a lot of people are surprised when they hear me say it, and I don't work in a restaurant. I support all of these restaurants, right? So I send them staff. I do whatever I can to make sure that I help them out any way I can. Number 2 is history class.
they
yeah.
did not expect the food to be good there the way it's set up, but very good.
Pork rinds on point.
The history class's food is fantastic. Dan Magner is the chef there. He does a fantastic job, and their food is excellent. Always on point, super consistent, great. Number 3, David Snowballs. I love David Snowballs. Now, that may change when Get You a Box gets a location. And
Right, I'm 5 minutes from it,
yeah,
by the way.
it's not very far from here. It's on 15th Street, Old 98, not 15th Street. But what Tony Middleton is doing there is going to be very special. And
He's taking his time. I love that he didn't rush into opening it. If there's a part 2 of Chefs, I need to get Tony Middleton in
Tony's
here.
a great dude. And like his setup in there, I've been in there, I've seen it. And you know who his GC was?
Nuh-uh.
Burt Reed.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I love that.
Burt Reed was Tony Middleton's general contractor on that project.
I do need to give a shout out to one of my friends' restaurant,
Yeah.
Dude, go.
Fatty Sandwich Shop.
Fatty's
Fatty's.
excellent. Yeah.
The
don't know how
Midnight
I forgot.
Toker, baby.
That's my
That Midnight
that's that
Toker
jam.
is- Have you never been to Fatty's?
Yeah.
Dude, Fatty's
Ian does a
sandwich
great
shop.
job. Ian does a great job there. Yeah.
Ian's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Best Reuben in Bay County, too. I've been on a
So,
Reuben kick since I worked in St.
One side
Joe.
of the building is Fatty's. The other side of the building is Fatty Patties. Go to Fatty's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the
sandwich
shirts?
shop.
The
Yeah.
shirts that say, yeah.
Who the fuck is Fatty Patty?
Yeah, and they're great. They're awesome.
They
Like,
sell a shirt in Fatty's sandwich shop that says, "Who the fuck is Fatty Patty?"
which Fatty Patty's is next door. It's so great. Like, it's like ultimate Bay County, like, petty. I
Yeah.
love it. You know, like, send it.
There's
So-
a new Indian restaurant opening over there.
Yeah,
It's
right
called
next to 'em.
Taste of India or something,
Something
like
like
that.
that. I
I'm
saw
looking
it.
forward to that.
Holy is very good, by the way.
I thought Holy was gonna lose its. I thought it was gonna
no.
because a lot of places when they're a small hole in the wall restaurant and then they expand into a bigger place. I'm not gonna name any names, but there's been a few examples of that here in Bay County. One of them closed and fired all their freaking employees.
Yeah, we saw
right?
that. Everybody
So-
saw that. That was a
Yeah, you know exactly
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. So it's like those little restaurants. It always scares me when they expand into a bigger building because quantity can fuck up quality a lot of the time.
Also talking about small hole in the wall places, Christos.
Christos is one of the best restaurants in Bay County for sure.
And
It is.
Going
It's the
back
cleanest kitchen I've ever seen.
Going back to living in South Louisiana, the best places to eat were attached to gas stations.
Yeah, it's a scary thought. Like some of the best chicken in Bay County comes from Dodges. And that's
have
a
you
fact,
been-
by the way.
So
It's-
here's
yeah.
a little kicker. Up here by your house, so Old 98. There's a gas station right there in Millville. It's like Chevron 1101 or something. I don't know. I'll send you what it is so you can tell people. But there's a guy in there cooking food that is amazing. And it's like right up here on 98. It's fantastic. It's really, really good. And I was like, man, this guy's good. I've eaten it like 3 or 4 times and I've been like, this is impossible.
Is it fair to say that's all it takes? Is
Passion?
a
Yeah.
guy that cares
A
about
person,
what he's
a
doing.
person,
Yeah.
just an individual.
Just
It doesn't,
cares.
yeah. Yeah. Like it just,
But that's the same in the food towns too, though. The chefs of the food towns really care. Yi Veng, he's doing some stuff with Discovery, and some stuff. And he came from a small town in Wisconsin, cooking some of the best Hmong food in the nation right now. He was on the Netflix Iron Chef, and now he's got his own show. I believe it's on Discovery Plus, where he's going out and killing invasive species and cooking them up and eating them deliciously.
Wow.
I love that.
yeah. I mean,
Might have to buy Netflix again.
No, Netflix.
That's
I don't know if you've ever seen Netflix Chef's Table series, but it's very good. Like it's well done.
So that wasn't on there, but what are some good cooking, like some of your favorite cooking shows? So he hasn't seen The Bear. Have you watched The Bear?
No.
I haven't watched it either. But
And
so
Yeah, The
non-spoilery, The Bear is having a big impact on the restaurant industry right now.
And across the board. So
Is that the one where they wanted the eggless omelet? Is that from The Bear? Like season one?
No. Sydney, the sous chef, made a French omelet that was a Spanish omelet that was developed by Jose Andres. It's a real omelet, like they really do make it, and they made it on the show. It is good. It's made with Ruffles potato chips, chives, and it's a French omelet, so it's rolled. It's like a roll. Imagine a sushi egg omelet that you can slice, but that's what she made, and it was. I mean, it is good. It's delicious. French omelets are awesome if you ever get the chance to eat one, but they're hard to make. They're hard
It sounds like it.
Yeah,
Something else we don't have in Bay County? Family meal.
We do actually.
None of the places I've worked have done family meal.
Some of them they do. They do happen. Like we cook family meal. Family meal means we cook for all the staff and we all sit down before we serve everyone else, the public, together. It does happen. We do it at the college at least, but yeah, I mean it does happen. It's there. But the Bear has made these impacts to our industry that are. There's always been these shows or things that romanticize restaurants, right? Or romanticize chefs. And that kind of is right and wrong. The Bear is true for what it is. Like if you watch The Bear and you go through this 3 seasons that they have, especially season 1 and 2, is very true and accurate to what happens in those types of restaurants. I commend it. They did a great job. There's been great chefs that worked on that show. There's been great hospitality people that have worked on that show. Danny Meyer, Will Giardia, who wrote a great book, but they've all done that. So what has happened is we've seen this influx of younger people now wanting to be chefs again. So kind of probably like for me and Ross, like we had Emerald, we had Food Network, and that's what kind of catalyzed it. Well, now we have this Netflix show that is just like, or Hulu, whatever it's on, that has just blown food out of the proportion to say like, it's okay to be this person, and it's not, because it has shown us that like, that is true to what it is. Like chefs go crazy. Like it's hard work. It's 80 hours a week. It's 7 days a week, and it's nonstop. Right. So that is true. Like sometimes they get locked in the walk-in and they scream at each other, and things like that happen. So we're seeing that now, especially like culinary school, which is what I teach. We're having a lot of younger people now enroll. And while it was like slightly older, like we'll talk 25, 26, 27 years old, that are like, I want a career change and I just want to do something that's fun. You know, I just want to go have fun. And cooking's fun. We love that. But as a job every day, 80 hours a week, it can become not fun real quick.
Especially when you have, like I said, never been a chef, worked in restaurants essentially my entire life, though. When you have people around you that don't share that same passion, it's easy to lose the passion for what you're doing. And I mean, that's any walk of life, really.
That's anything. Look at Florida State's football team.
Yeah, fuck me. Yeah.
Only time I was a cook for a solid month and a half. It was just a straight up line cook at an Applebee's, no free ads, in Middle Tennessee. And a little
with a microwave.
And I was a fry cook. I didn't even upgrade. I hadn't been there long enough that I could upgrade to the
microwave.
Mid. They had 3 sections. It was fry, mid, and grill. I hadn't got past grill, fry. So
I would say everything there is pretty mid.
I hated every second of being anywhere near the kitchen. Like I walked in, they had so much turnover that I walked in to ask the guy my first day. I was like, "Hey, are you guys hiring?" And this guy pops out of the little corner and he was like, "Did I hear you say you were looking for a job?" I said, "Yes, sir." And I'm 17, 18, 19 years old at the time, and I was 18 years old, fresh out of my first year of college, ran out of money, didn't have enough money to go back, so Mom said I could stay at home as long as I had to get a job by the end of the month, and it was already the 20th. And I had to get a job by the end of the month, otherwise she was charging me rent. And I said,
Applebee's.
And I said, how am I going to pay you if I don't have a job? She goes, well, that's not my problem. So went out. By the end of the month, I ended up getting 2 jobs. Both of them, one of them was at Applebee's. The other one was at a little mom and pop, what they called Cajun restaurant. It was not Cajun. It was a place called Mio Mayo's.
So
that sounds Italian and a bad Italian.
But yeah, I was a line cook there, helped out. I did a little bit of everything at both of the restaurants. I worked for a month at Applebee's, and I walked into the back of the house manager's office, and I was like, "Hey, we got to talk." She goes, "Are you quitting on me?" I said, No. Like, I need the job, but I just know that being a cook is not for me. Like, is there any room up front? Like, because I'm not handling my own weight, and the other cooks are hating me for it. I hate myself every day I go home. Like, the guy who trained me, I love the guy to death. Like you said, it was this old guy who just trained you. This guy's grabbing stuff out of the not of the fryer, in the mid. They had this like warmer where you had the French onion soup. He's grabbing stuff out of there with his hands, just like melted cheese, just in a cup, just straight out of there. And I'm like,
it's called a broiler.
Yeah, I'm seeing everybody with like their spatula trying to get this cup of soup out, and I'm just like, and he just walks over, grabs it, and I'm like, what the heck? In his off time, he cooked at the local hospital. I'm like, dude,
and murdered children.
No,
I mean,
But he
sounds like a badass line cook to me.
oh, he was
Yeah.
He could do anything and everything you wanted him to. Like, dude was great. Like, and he even told me he was like Drew, I'm 6 weeks away from retirement, so I've got 6 weeks to train you, and I've gotta pump myself up. I listen to Metallica every day driving in, and it gets me going.
Okay.
I was like, okay.
Heard that.
But like I said, I've only got like maybe a month and a half worth of being a cook, and it was awful. So I praise you for doing it as a living and doing it well at that, especially with the chicken enchiladas and everything that I've had at Bo's. It's really a testament to, like you said, someone caring about what they are doing and what they want to do with the rest of their life. And it says a lot that there are still people in this world that want to do it as a cook,
Yeah.
especially in this town.
Yeah, because it's not here yet, but it's coming. We're working toward that. You know, there are people in this community who want to see it grow. They do, and that's very awesome. Because 10 years ago it wasn't here, and now it's coming. It's slowly but steadily coming, and we are going to get those places. We will eventually get a ramen bar. You know, there's a barbecue place coming to
Yeah, the Korean
downtown.
barbecue.
Like
There
there's
is
like,
a hot pot on the beach.
There's
now.
a hot pot coming up on the beach. Like all of these things. I mean, for ethnic food, Red Barn around the corner in Callaway, great. Like they do pretty good with Korean food. There's good ethnic food here. The problem is there's really not a whole lot of people doing hunt and gather level of food at an affordable rate. And it's possible. Like you can do it. It just has to happen, you know? And that's why I went to the college. So I could like find these staffs and like get them to be inspired to go out here and stay home, because Bay County's produced great chefs. They just don't live here anymore.
Yeah.
Like I know,
I think that's like almost not
So-
you know,
great to say, but almost the ultimate goal is to end up getting out of Bay County.
Yeah,
to
like a
work
lot of
your way
people
out
wanna-
of here.
a lot of people want to jet, and that's fine. I get it. Like I've left here before too, and I went and I saw that, you know, I'm not hot shit in Tampa, Florida. You know, like that's just it. Like there's a lot of hot shit in Tampa, Florida. I was not part of it. And I came back here and I help people open restaurants, and I do what I want to do ultimately, which is make our community a better place. At the end of the day, it's like, it's not for me. Like I just want to educate people on food, hospitality, and get them to see that, oh, wow, I'll go on vacation to Nashville or New Orleans or Chicago or New York City, and I'll drop $500 on dinner, but I won't do it in my hometown, which I think sucks. It's like, if you won't do it here, why will you do it elsewhere? Because we have the talent here. We just have to keep it home.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so we need to start our pick'ems here soon. I'm a big burger guy, and I've watched Gordon Ramsay a couple of times on interviews, and everyone always seems to ask him this question. He gives the same answer every time. I'm gonna go one by one. Burgers are hard to make. Honestly, as far as simple food goes, burgers are hard to get right because they dry out quick.
This is what I love about cooking simplicity is it's so simple that you got to be on point.
Yeah.
Which makes it really difficult and really amazing when you hit every one of those points. I am not a molecular gastronomy kind of guy. I don't care for it. I don't like it. I don't do it because I want my food to taste the way it looks. I want it to be simple. I want it to be fresh. I want it to be in season.
At the end of the day, simplicity is key, right?
Yeah.
I mean, is that fair to say?
Yeah,
Obviously,
100%.
Depends
That's
on where
what
you're
happens.
at, obviously, but simplicity is key to making good food. But in your eyes, and Ross, I'll start with you, the perfect burger. And I want to. You don't have to go through all the prep process and everything, but like you're making a burger for somebody. They want the best burger that you can make. What are you doing? And I mean, you can talk about the kind of bun, the toppings, all of it.
Flat out. I'm doing a Juicy Lucy from Matt's Bar in Minneapolis.
It's a great restaurant.
What's a Juicy Lucy?
Oh, buddy, Matt's Bar, and tell him, Ross. Tell him,
So,
Never
Tell
been to
'em.
Minneapolis, fellas.
bro.
let me break the debate
Bro.
right now. The Juicy Lucy was invented in Matt's. 5As can go shove themselves. It's Matt's. Matt's alone.
You know, if you guys are watching at 5As,
I went to both of them this summer. Matt's is way
Matt's is way better. So Matt's is the typical
Burn our
dive
Minnesota
bar.
market.
It is absolutely the typical dive bar. Their menu is a little card this big. They take cash only. There's 9 things on the menu, including the Juicy Lucy and side of French fries. That's it.
Cash only in the COVID era, post-COVID era.
Bro,
That's
I will tell you, I went to Matt's this summer, just real quick. There was 4 employees. It was after a Twins game. The Twins won. They were playing the White Sox. Of course they won. But so I went to a
Mosley
Twins
beat the
game.
White Sox this year.
Yeah. Mosley's football team beat the White Sox. But I went to Matt's bar. I wanted to have a Juicy Lucy, which is a stuffed cheeseburger. It's got like molting hot American government cheese in the middle of it, buddy. And let me tell you how delicious this stuff is.
I'm looking up flights now.
when you
Flights to Minneapolis, Matt's bar. Anyway, we had to wait outside for about 15 minutes. It was raining. I gave 0 shits. And we got in. This bar probably had 120 people in it or so.
counter service or bar service,
No, like
table service.
table service. Like there was one server, and she was a badass. All right. And then there was 3 people behind the counter. One guy cooking cheeseburgers
All he does.
on like a 2x2 flat grill, and then one guy working a fryer, and then one guy working the bar. And that was it. There's like 125 people in this place. It's busy as shit. This woman is working this entire dining room. This cheeseburger came out and I ate it and I was like, I don't know if there's a better cheeseburger in the world than this one right now on a Sunday afternoon at Matt's bar in a very I don't want to offend anyone. Maybe Ross can chime in here. A neighborhood that you wouldn't want to walk too many blocks in alone, for sure. But it was delicious. It was amazing. I was super impressed by Matt's Bar in Minneapolis, Minnesota. They do have one of the best cheeseburgers in America.
We leave tomorrow morning at 6:20.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm calling
We'll
in
get to Minneapolis at 1 p.m.
Love you, Dave. You got to find somebody else for gold.
I mean,
threes.
like, the walls are like cigarette stained, bro. Like, it is dive bar as dive bar gets. Like, it's awesome.
I love a good dive.
Actually not that expensive to fly to Minneapolis.
I'm kind of thinking about it because I've heard there's a lot of fun stuff to do in Minnesota too, like beyond food.
There is.
So
I ate
maybe
at a lot of cool places there. It was
I can
great.
tell you some fine dining places to go. I can tell you some divey bar places and some places in between that are all phenomenal.
heard the ballpark's nice.
let
You
me
went to the
know.
ballpark. I heard
Yeah, I
that.
went to the ballpark.
Let
It
me
was
know when you
awesome.
plan and
Spring break. Well, maybe after spring break. We need to go during baseball season.
Yes.
Watch a Twins game. All right, so we need to get into our pick'ems because time is running out. But before we get there, is there anything else that we didn't have time to talk about that you want to hit on real quick? Anything at all? Hey, it doesn't have to. I mean,
Double smash burger.
Oh yeah.
my
With-
dad actually
with bacon.
commented that.
Double smash burger with bacon and yellow cheese. Like, please don't put fancy cheese on a basic cheeseburger. Just stop. Like, it's just yellow cheese.
Simplicity.
Yeah. It's a cheeseburger.
I did
Now,
like-
if you can
you-
make your own buns, even better. I have an 80-minute hamburger bun recipe that's really good. But,
They're
And please season your patties.
yeah, salt and pepper at least.
getting off burgers. I went to Publix the other day to get a pub sub, and
Fire.
the lady
Chicken tenders.
the
Let's
lady
go.
asked me, she was like, "Hey, so what kind of cheese?" And I was like, "Oh, American's fine." She goes, "Do you want white or yellow?" And I was like, "Dealer's choice. Pick whichever one is easiest, I guess." And so I straight up
Can't
asked
taste
her.
the difference between yellow
I straight
and
up
white.
asked her.
There's no
I
difference.
said, I
You want to
said,
know the difference?
I said,
Annatto.
Color.
Food coloring.
yeah.
Annatto seed.
If it's ever
That's
yellow, if it's ever yellow, it's been colored.
Yeah. Annatto seed is the color in it, and it has zero flavor.
Yeah, I asked
None.
the lady. I was like, "What's the I was like, "What is the difference in white and yellow?" She goes, "One's got food coloring in it." I was like, "What?" Thank you for
Yeah,
breaking
for
that
real.
to me at
Yeah.
28.
Yeah. Annatto seed. It's just
32,
yellow.
brother. I just learned that as well. I thought they were just like paint it yellow.
Yes.
Paint it yellow.
Put that lead paint in there too, please.
Cheese is yellow.
Fellas, this has been a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys being able to give us some of your time here. I know the late start time kind of put us over with the time that we're usually
If
cooking
we do this
here. but
again, I think Chef Chris and I would definitely talk about the burnout and the mental
Oh
side.
yeah,
of
we could
everything.
talk about.
there,
But that's another probably 2 hours.
we will do.
That's like a that's an episode.
we'll do a part 2 of
Oh,
chefs.
most definitely.
We have a couple of part 2s that we're gonna get to, so we'll put that in the idea portion of your brain, and we'll get back to that. Because this is gonna be, like I said at the beginning, a multi-part special. Looking for front of the house employees. I know the number up there, by the way, of viewers is not the correct number of viewers. I just learned
God.
that by looking at Facebook.
Thank God.
I did.
We're not invited back.
3 people were watching.
It was up to 4.
Now you know how we feel whenever we're watching. We're like, come on, guys. Where are
if
you
pull,
at?
Like if you pull up Facebook, like there's maybe I'm about to make myself look stupid, but it says like right here, it's like, okay, well, a minute ago it said this guy plus and 7 others are watching. So
Yeah.
who knows if they're just dipping in, dipping out. We're
Ooh,
up to
record
5
to
right now. We're peaking.
I don't know why you wouldn't want to watch us.
It just again.
It's honestly crazy. Like I know how it feels for me, and I'm here every week. I can't imagine how it feels for you guys, but you come in here with the idea of I've got 7 real life exercise right here. I have 7 pictures saved of like football content that I was ready to just spew out random
That doesn't
knowledge,
work.
and nothing. It's not going to come up at all. And for you guys, you might have like you said, for the burnout, and you might have different stories that you were like, oh, I'll tell that, but we never get around to it. It's crazy how an hour and 47 minutes go by like that whenever
Yeah.
you're just hanging out talking, which is a testament to the 4 of us right now, but also everybody who's been watching. And this is exactly what we're trying to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is, you could do all the prep in the world, but when you can turn it into a natural conversation, and those are the best shows. We've talked about this. I mean, this goes all the way to to ESPN and everything. The best shows are when you don't even look at your prep.
Yeah.
And then you look back later and you're like, son of a bitch, we didn't talk about that. And those are the best shows, though, because that leaves a desire. We still have to do, like, we have a part 2 of our church episode, which was our most popular episode that we did. It was huge.
Part 2
Yeah, it
of
was good.
teachers.
We have to do our teacher episode because we didn't even get to do that one live. And so we still have to get back to that, too. But we got the rest of 2024 mapped out, and it's going to be a fun finish to the year. And to everybody that's watching, I'm just telling you, man, eventually this is going to catch fire, this idea. I have fun doing this. You wouldn't drive all the way here after working a long day and then drive all the way back to the west. You live on the west end of the beach.
Yeah.
We're here in Callaway. So this is fun, man.
it's 50
Yeah,
miles. It's 50 miles.
Yeah, this is fun.
Like,
This is a great time. And
I remember when you were doing this in that box right there in your closet, Kyle Wright.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
anybody who's able to take it from that box right there, I don't know if y'all could see it. You probably can't, but there's this box right here. Kyle Wright used to speak into this box in his closet to do this
It was
stuff.
a different one, but yeah, it was essentially.
So
yeah.
like
I
it's
built that one.
Drew
you
built
did?
that. Yeah, he built that specifically for
Such
this.
great handiwork. Like, look at that.
It's gorgeous, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is.
It doesn't get enough screen time.
I did. I had the same essential setup though.
We need to paint it. Can I paint it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
please.
I'll paint it.
Please, for the love of God, yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing we didn't do. I want to know how it's fading in here. I would like to know.
Yeah, the box.
If there's like some damage on this side, I don't know how the hell that's happening.
Florida State football.
LEDs are bad for wood. I don't know.
I blame Ezra.
That's 2 picks, bro.
All right, fellas, let's make some picks. Again, thank you guys for being here. We'll close out the show with more thank yous. All right, we'll start. We'll work this way, and then we'll go back and forth.
Snake draft.
Yep, exactly. All right, so this game is on Thursday night. Tomorrow night, Syracuse at number 19 Pitt.
Pitt's playing good ball. Give me Pitt.
Pitt at the house.
I like the Pitt Panthers.
I'm gonna take Syracuse. They're 5-1. I think they're gonna upset Pitt.
Yeah, Syracuse, fun fact here, this is going to be their 3rd game of the year playing on a Thursday or Friday night, and they have won each game by a total of, by an average of like 14 points per game. Just an average, just a thing that I saw. They were UNLV's first loss at UNLV earlier this
It's
year.
a good ball club.
They're a much better coach team. I think Pitt kind of showed some vulnerability in that Cal Berkeley game last week, and I think Syracuse will take advantage of that. So I'm picking Syracuse as well. Friday night, number 17 Boise State at UNLV. UNLV's only lost to Syracuse at this point. Lose their quarterback, they start tearing it up. I'm going to take Boise State, and in my mind, the front runner for the Heisman Trophy at this point, Ashton Jeanty, to get it done on the road.
Give me Boise, but it's tight, and I think this is a Heisman moment if he hasn't already had it, because he's going to break Barry Sanders' record if he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about UNLV, so give me Boise State.
Fair enough. I like that.
I'm going to take UNLV.
By the way, Kyle, will you tell everyone who Boise State lost to?
Boise State lost to Oregon
By very little
by very little. Yeah.
in Eugene. Boise State's a sleeper. Don't get that number 12 at home.
That's not.
Don't get that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. You better hope they lose before that.
You better watch out, Alabama.
Speaking of Alabama, number 21 Mizzou at number 15 Alabama.
I still think Alabama's going to beat Mizzou. Mizzou hasn't done it for me. They were way overrated to begin the year. I think this has more to do with how bad I think Mizzou is rather than how good I think Alabama is.
I've been waiting for the past 3 weeks to see Alabama come out and play pissed off football. I don't think they got it in them to play pissed off. It's going to be close. It's at Alabama, right?
Yep.
I'll take Alabama at home, but it's going to be way closer than it should be.
I think that's a great analysis on that.
I'll take Bama and the Fighting TikToks.
Yeah, I'm going to just echo exactly what these two guys said, the first two guys that picked, man. Alabama, they're not good. They're not good. But, they're better than Florida State. So it's like,
Everybody's better. We're
right, yeah.
133rd.
But for Alabama, for the standard that's been built there, they're just not a great team. They've and that's the thing you said, Ross, is the most head scratching thing about this team is after Vandy, you think they're going to come out and play pissed off. Then they barely survive South Carolina at the house. After back-to-back weeks, the media is like, what the hell's going on? Then they go to Tennessee and they get beat pretty easily by Tennessee. Like that game, it was a one-score game, but Tennessee controlled the whole game. So it's like, and Tennessee's not great either. So I've just been disappointed by Alabama, but this Missouri.
I think Alabama's more pigeonholed themselves into what they are now because their defense is okay.
Yeah.
It has its moments. Like it rose up against Tennessee, it rose up when it needed to against South Carolina. Never did anything against Vandy, but earlier in the year it did what it needed to win.
they
ball
did
games.
beat Georgia.
First half of Georgia.
I think I think they pigeonholed themselves into what they are offensively, mainly because for most of last year and for the beginning of this year, their best player is Jalen Milroe, and the biggest difference in last year to this year, other than Saban, is Milroe's play. And which is completely reversed of what everyone expected to happen with a brand new offensive-minded head coach to come in and not upgrade your play. So I was talking with a Bama fan the other day, and he said that he was mad that they weren't sticking to the running game. And I said, well, I think that's just how your team is. It's hard to keep the ball. You have to keep the ball in Milroe's hands at all times because he is your best playmaker, whether it's running or passing. And right now, he's not living up to the standard that he set for himself, let alone what the stands want him to do. I think they've pigeonholed, and now it's just their whole offense.
I might take some of the blame for this because I watched the first half of the Georgia game and realized that Bama was going to walk all over him and didn't turn the TV back on, and Bama hasn't played well since I shut the TV off.
Just keep the TV off.
Keep it off, baby. Yeah, I agree. The one thing I said this to David Hayes, big Alabama fan, and then we'll move on our picks. Alabama has been elite a lot in the last 15 years, but the one thing they've always had every year that they've been elite is an identity, and they don't have that this year. They're like Jalen Milroe's not taking. Like there was the whole, we had the fun Ryan Williams stint for the first couple games of the year, But
He's
when-
17.
I mean,
offense
I'd give
can't-
you that. Their
Yeah,
identity is a 17-year-old wide receiver who's going to play in the NFL at 19. He'll be the youngest player ever.
And it's
Yeah,
incredible,
that's it.
right? But
Yeah.
that's
That's
that
their
can't
identity.
be the identity of your team. You can't. You just can't do it. You
Yeah.
can't.
Hey, Tuscaloosa, you got a young team. Good luck. You're playing in the SEC. What do you want to say?
All right, moving on here. Washington at number 13, Indiana. I'll go quick here. Hoosiers look good this year. I'm going to take them at home.
Hoosiers.
Hoosiers game day.
Indiana.
Yeah, I figured.
My dad's favorite place.
I figured that one would be a quick one across the board there. All right, this one's probably the toughest pick of the week right here. Number 20, Illinois at number 1, Oregon. But here's the catch. Oregon minus 21.5 at home against these Illinois Fighting Illini.
I'm going to take Oregon with the points. The last time the Illini had a shot at a top tier opponent was at Penn State, and they got shell shocked. So I'm going to take Oregon with the points.
I don't think Illinois can score. I mean, they have a phenomenal defense. Brett Bielema's a great defensive coordinator. Nothing against Illinois, but give me Oregon. They're going to cover.
What time's the game?
That is important, but I don't know. I don't have that written down.
If the game is in the daytime, give me Illinois in the points.
Research guy.
If the game is in the daytime, give me Illinois. If it's at night in Eugene and they're playing a ranked opponent, give me Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon looks really good this year. So while he's looking that up, I'll
2:30.
okay. So
I'm going to take Illinois. They keep it within 17.
How's Oregon first in the nation, but they're second in the Big Ten?
that's crazy. Who's first? Penn State.
Let me see.
It's got to be Penn State.
Got to be. But they probably have more conference wins. That's probably
Yeah.
why.
Wow, why is my phone doing this?
iPhone. Communist. Yeah.
Why am I looked up Big Ten standings and it pulled up the American.
All right.
Indiana.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense too. Indiana, Penn State's probably right there as well. Golly, Big Ten.
Penn State is 3. Both Indiana and Oregon are 4-0 in conference, and Penn State's 3-0.
I'm going to take Oregon to cover to 21.5, by the way. All right, number 22, SMU at Duke. This is actually probably one of those like underrated games of the week right here. I think this is going to be fun. I think I'm going to take Duke at the house to get this done. I like Manny Diaz. I like his defense. SMU is kind of riding hot right now, but a bye week after being as hot as they were can really slow a team down like that.
SMU is way better than Duke. SMU in a runaway. 20.
Yeah,
Try
Right
20.
away, some would say.
Runaway.
This is the best SMU team since the death penalty. But before I make my pick, Brian can spell Oregon properly.
Way to go. You did it.
But
Shout
yeah,
out
SMU.
Shelbs.
Shots fired. Who you got?
SMU.
SMU.
I am basing this all off of how they played Florida State, and SMU beat Florida State by more at their house than what Duke beat FSU at their house. Anytime I can take a shot at FSU, I'm going to take it because you guys have taken shots at. Well, I won't say Kyle has taken shots at me. He has actually kept it easy on me. So
I like
SMU.
LSU. I like LSU. I
too,
mean,
they're
really,
good.
like I've got the hat right over there. It's obviously for
Fowler's
my
strong.
good friend
I
Cole
think
Fowler,
the
but
coach is just a funny guy.
I don't think Brian Kelly's a great football coach, but I like
Not at
LSU.
I think he's figuring things out. He runs things more like a CEO, which is kind of lost in today's.
I do think Brian Kelly as a GM would be
most definitely.
Unstoppable.
yeah.
Put him in any professional organization. It doesn't matter what sport it is.
Yeah.
Like that dude can do it.
He's there to put people in positions, not to do it himself. He's what Chris is doing now. I'm gonna put you in this position.
Here's
Brian
where you
Kelly,
go.
how's your family? All right, Cincinnati.
Dancing with recruits. Y'all come to culinary school at Gulf Coast.
That dude grinded on that recruit, and then he committed to Bama 48 hours later.
Look how that showed out.
yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
All right, Cincinnati at Colorado. Cincinnati, by the way, looking pretty good over there in the Big 12.
But I've picked against Colorado, and they've made me look like a fool. So I'm gonna go with them. So good luck. Have fun with your win, Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'm reverse psychologing with you. So
Colorado.
yeah,
I won't never, ever pick that non-null in Boulder, Colorado. Give me whoever they are playing. They are the Gators to me at this point.
Yeah, I'm reverse psychology as well. I'm going to pick Colorado only because this game's in Cincinnati. Might pick Cincy. Game's in Boulder. That place is fired up. Listen,
They're going to eat a lot of Skyline chili. in Cincy.
Colorado looks better this year. They look like they
It's the
they
reverse
look
of
like a
last year.
football team.
They look like they're going to.
It is the reverse of last year. They looked like crap at the beginning of the year. Now they figured it out. Last
Yeah.
year they started off 4-0 on fire. Coach Prime was running for president, it seemed like, and then all of a sudden the wheels fell off that bus.
One of the most annoying things that have ever happened in like my short memory of being a sports fan was the Colorado hype last year.
It was
That
really stupid.
It was just ridiculous. It made me hate them.
It got to a point where it was just like, okay, you got to do something to talk this talk. Like I get it. You're an all world athlete, but you're literally on all the Aflac commercials with the literal GOAT Nick Saban.
Yeah.
You're on all of these extra commercials and ESPN's talking about how your foot needs to be amputated and all this. And it's like, bro, just relax. Why are we talking about you so much when you haven't even coached an FBS game yet?
Right. Yeah, I agree.
It was always Dion, even whenever he was on an island. I get it.
It's always about Dion.
Yep.
All right, Big Ten action. Another underrated game this week. Maryland at Minnesota. I'm going to take PJ Fleck and the Minnesota Gophers at the house.
Give me Minnesota.
Row the boat, baby.
We've talked so much Minnesota this episode. More Minnesota
Yeah.
this episode than any other than all of our previous episodes.
In any podcast in history, yeah.
Picking the
Combined.
Vikings game as well. so.
Let's.
Okay.
It's Minnesota and who?
It's Minnesota, Maryland.
I'm gonna go Maryland.
Maryland got
UND.
trounced by Wisconsin a couple weeks ago.
Gophers versus Turtles. Let's go.
Let's go.
Wisconsin got a chance to pull another big upset this week. Penn State coming to the house, so that'll be fun.
That might be a little upset.
Could be. It's a night game.
Yeah.
All right, number 5, Texas at number 25, Vanderbilt. Texas being given 18.5 on the road here. Does lightning strike twice, Drew?
No. Vanderbilt is good. They're gonna keep it close.
Are they keeping 18.5 close?
I think Sarkisian's going to have them boys ready to come out, and I think this is what we expected Alabama to look like coming off a loss, and I think they're going to come out and be like, "Hey, we're still on track to be where they have everything ahead of them of what they still want to do," and I'm going to stick with Texas.
So that's Texas minus 18.5. Ross?
I'm gonna drink the Kool-Aid. Vandy's gonna cover.
I think after this weekend, they're going to be building statues of Diego Pavia, baby. And they're going to throw the whole damn stadium in the river. Gimme Vandy to win it.
Vandy last week really struggled at home with Ball State. Seriously, like they scored a touchdown at the last minute to win that game by 10. Ball State was right there with them the whole game. It's just like
They're bad, yeah.
everything that happens makes me like. And then seeing how Alabama played the 2 games after, it makes that now. It's still Vandy beating Alabama should be celebrated for the rest of our lives because it'll never happen again.
App
Never,
State over
it's-
Michigan.
Like we're never exactly. We're probably never ever going to see that happen again. And that being said, it's not going to happen this Saturday. I'm going to take Texas to cover the points.
Did y'all see that Vanderbilt put up nets in front of the visiting section for Texas so they wouldn't throw anything on the field? Which is the
You're not reversing these
Yeah.
calls.
yeah.
God, that was one of the most wild things. It was a terrible call. Flag should have never got thrown anyway. It was like, wow, I've never seen fans bully.
Yeah.
Well, there's your recipe, folks. If you that's a great
You bullied Vanderbilt into putting up nets.
great precedent to set. You don't like the call, litter.
Well, Vandy's stadium seems to be permanently under construction.
I mean,
It's in Nashville,
Yeah.
bro.
everything is every. He's
That
right.
whole
He's right.
state-
Drew. Yeah.
That whole state.
Yeah.
is
Especially
under
Eastern
construction.
Tennessee right now
Yes.
is under
Yeah,
construction.
yeah, that's yeah.
But that's also a what's
Not their fault.
An election year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh,
Oh.
fantastic. There we go. Tell us more. I'm just
it's-
kidding, no.
that's when roads get done, when
Yeah.
construction happens.
Gas prices
Gas prices are down all of a sudden for at like a new 4-year low. Yeah.
Food prices are down a little bit.
4-year
Yeah.
low.
All right, number 12 Notre Dame at number 24 Navy. This right here, I guess I got to go first on this one, huh? Son of a bitch, this game is tough, man. I forgot what the spread was. I think Notre Dame is like 9.5 on the road, 9.5 point favorite. So we're not going to pick that. It's not a big enough. The spread's got to be big for us to pick it here. I'm going to go against my better judgment, and I'm going to pick Notre Dame to get this win on the road.
I'm gonna go Navy. Can't go against troops on this one. I'm hoping.
I'm an Army guy. So.
I'm hoping that it's.
2 Army Navy games.
I'm hoping that it's 2 Army Navy and it's wild at the end of the year.
So some home team needs to win 1 football game at MetLife Stadium. Let's go Navy.
So, and that's funny. Fuck the
Yeah, that was a
Jets.
good one.
Giants play there too.
They suck also.
I just like watching the Jets fail because division rival and the whole hype train for that whole. Yeah, I love watching them fail.
Speaking of the Jets, and one of my pictures, Devontae Adams goes from a 2-5 team to a 2-5 team, but it's with the homies.
And he got to lose to the Steelers 2 weeks in a row, so
Yeah.
good for him.
But he's with the homies, so it's all good. Notre Dame.
It feels wrong.
I want Navy to win, and I don't think Notre Dame can do it. But every time I don't think Notre Dame can do something, they've done it.
I think this Notre Dame team feels a little bit different, other than one game, which I think is like an anomaly at this point. But you look at every week, Texas A&M looks better and better. So that win in Kyle, Texas looks better.
Why would
What
the
you got?
White Sox move to Nashville? It was the Rays that were talked about moving to Nashville.
The Reds that have been talked about moving to Nashville.
I thought they were getting a whole new expansion.
I think
Yeah, they should just
I
get an
think that
expansion
that's
team.
the way that we're going to end up going.
But for the Rays,
It's
because of their stadium,
Yeah.
they're done. They can't play there till the next year. So they're talking about like Asheville,
Durham.
Nashville, Durham, because their AAA team is
The Durham Bulls.
The Durham Bulls,
Great
and they've
movie.
got a really, really nice stadium there.
Love
If you've
that
never
place.
seen it, but go look it up on Google Images. Like, it is a spectacular stadium.
And it's not like they're going to sell it out. And right.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're gonna have.
It's still
They're gonna have 12,000
But-
and still be MG and AAA.
But also, like, Durham already has a conglomerate of Rays fans in the area because they're seeing the players right before.
Right.
So they already know 90% of the players because the Rays, they homegrown talent, and
It's
then they
all
sell them
homegrown
out.
talent. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I think Durham is the place that they end up going.
All right. Next week, by the way, you guys won't be here, but in our picks, it's going to be Trump versus Harris.
is there a spread?
You don't have to say who.
Is there a spread?
Not going to touch that one. Not going to touch that one. Going to the NFL for the last 5 picks here. Thursday Night Football, Vikings at the Rams.
Vikings coming off their first loss. They're gonna figure something out, and Sam Darnold is still that dude. So, Vikings.
Vikings. Cooper Cup's going to be gone. The Rams are starting to be a dumpster fire.
Yeah, a lot of Cooper Cup trade rumors coming out. It's crazy.
Give me the Vikings.
Yeah, I'll take the Vikings on the road as well. The Rams just haven't really been that impressive this year. If the Rams do win, it's going to be because of their defense. Oh, excuse me. Golly, I'm not bored.
Shots fired.
What you got there?
We're better at football than cooking.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, Eagles at the Bengals. This is a noon game on Sunday. This is like one of those games like the Cowboys and the 49ers, and two historic franchises we understand. Wish they would flex this. Eagles-Bengals needs to be the primetime game, Sunday night. But regardless, it's at noon, sandwiched in the middle of the other 18 games that'll be happening there. So the Bengals are playing they're flip-flopping because now they're playing some kind of poor offense and they're playing great defense. The first 3 games of the season, they were playing elite offense. and they're playing piss poor defense. I don't know which Bengals team is going to come out Sunday, but I'm not in love with the Eagles this year, even though their record's good. Not in love with what they're doing on the field other than Saquon. I'm going to take the Bengals at the house.
I'm taking Bengals too. I just can't trust the Eagles right now. I know that their record says that they're good, but I don't think that they are very good. Outside of Saquon's performance last week, which I think had a lot to do with
The Giants.
the Giants. And good on the coach for doing that, but I just don't see the Eagles winning anything this year. Maybe they make the first round of the playoffs, the wild card, and they get knocked out. Give me the Bengals.
I can't put any trust in the Bengals. I mean, they beat the Browns. Everybody can beat the Browns.
By one score, by the way. By one score.
And
Jameis starting for the Browns today. It's exciting.
He is, wow.
About time.
That's exciting.
so give me the Eagles. Running game does travel. Saquon will travel and run the ball. Hopefully he'll still run the ball.
I'm going to take the Bengals. Like Kyle said, they've kind of play in reverse right now, but I'm going to let my homer out a little bit and say that even in a bad offense, I think Joe Burrow will be able to do enough to win that ball game with the weapons around him.
And Jamar's leading the league in receiving yards right now. Because of the Chris Godwin injury, too, man. Golly. Shout out Chris Godwin. That sucked. All right, Sunday afternoon game, Bills at the Seahawks.
I'm going to stick with the Bills. They've been resurgent all year long when everybody counted them out, and they've somehow been able to put this all forward and still win ball games it's like I said a couple weeks ago, addition by subtraction. You lose Stephon Diggs, but you open up a whole new avenue of weapons that is harder to prepare for.
Yeah, and give me Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bills. I just don't like to pick against them unless they're playing the Jags.
I'm a Dolphins fan, so I don't need the Bills to win these games. But, man, getting Amari Cooper just opened things up for Keon Coleman. The dude, what did he have, 4 for 125 last week? And then Amari Cooper had like 4 for 68 and a touchdown.
And didn't know how to run the route for the touchdown pass.
Yeah, the last thing that they freaking needed was another target.
I love Keon's response after the game. Whenever they asked him what he hey, did you tell him the route? And he goes, "Oh no, he was just checking with me. He was just making sure he knew what he was doing." It gave him a little slot, and I was just like, "That's a good teammate right there."
Yeah.
Not putting him out on blast.
Take notes,
not
Aaron
telling him-
Rodgers.
Yeah, just like, hey, I was just letting him know.
Keon, man, he didn't have that character at Florida State.
He's like an epiphany to you, isn't he?
It-
Like, because I remember you telling me, like, I don't know about Keon. And then I'm like, this dude's just too charismatic not to be good at football. And then you're like, I don't know. We'll see.
I knew there were 2 teams. I didn't think he'd be good in the NFL unless he went to one of 2 teams, Kansas City or Buffalo, and he went to one of the 2.
Good
Like
thing
if
you
that
go to
dude
the
goes,
Jets.
if that dude goes almost anywhere else, he's not as good as he is.
True.
But
Yeah.
just awesome, just good for him. Good for him. I'm happy that the 1 year he spent here, we get that tagline next to
Yeah.
his name for the rest of his
Yeah.
career.
Maybe we hear it on Monday Night Football.
Maybe. All right, Cowboys at the 49ers. I just think the injury bug has hit the Niners too hard. The Cowboys are not a good team this year, but I mean, I saw the thing, man. The healthiest wide receiver on the 49ers was shot in the chest 2 months ago. I gotta take the Cowboys to win this game.
That is the most San Francisco shit I've ever heard, you know. But
Well,
I just can't pick against the. I can't pick the Cowboys to win anything ever.
that's fair.
So give me the 49ers.
That's fair.
If the
May-
Niners do win, does McCarthy even get on the plane?
I maybe because look how long it took him to fire Jason Garrett.
Yeah, but that dismantle of a team where you basically have your entire JV roster out there, the Cowboys have to win.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm going to take the 49ers and just say, like, I can't in good faith pick the Cowboys.
So did you pick Dallas? Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't in good faith.
No. Can we have like one of those JVers just like star it? Like Terrell Owens, T.O. star it after they beat him with
It's
their
in
second
San Fran,
string.
isn't it?
I don't know where it was, but
Kyle.
somebody needs to do it.
The game's in San Fran, right?
Yeah, Candlestick or whatever it's called now.
Levi Stadium.
Levi Stadium. It used to be called
That's why
Candlestick.
Harbaugh can't coach you anymore. He's a khakis guy.
Oh shit! Brum, tsh.
All right, candles. Jesus Christ. Late episode here, fellas.
Yes, my child.
Giants at the Steelers. Yeah, go ahead. Russ cooked last week.
Yes, Russ. We all clowned him.
Where was that from?
I mean, Mike Tomlin might be onto something here, and he's resurrected two quarterbacks in recent memory that have looked like dumpster fires at their previous places. So, whatever's in the water up in Pittsburgh needs to trickle its way down to New Orleans, please. But Pittsburgh, please.
All right, sir.
Steelers.
Yeah, I'm taking Pitt.
Steelers across the board. What a terrible Monday Night Football game, by the way.
It is. It's pretty bad.
And before we get off of
Smash the under.
before we get off the Giants here, I've got a few touchdown to interceptions for a few guys across the league right now, and I want you to just tell me which one you think is the best. You've got one guy who has 6 passing touchdowns with 4 interceptions, one guy with 6 passing touchdowns with 8 interceptions, one guy with 4 tuds and 8 ints, 3 tuds, 6 ints, 5 tuds, and 7 ints.
Are all these starting quarterbacks
Yes.
in the NFL?
Yes.
They're doing their job bad.
Yes, but
I mean, like they're better than like.
one of them is in the MVP conversation. Dark horse.
The first person I said was Daniel Jones. 6 passing touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
Okay.
Next person I said was Patrick Mahomes.
Oi.
6 passing touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
Yikes.
Then you've got Will Levis with 5 touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
He's a rookie, right?
Second year.
Second year.
Anthony Richardson, 3 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
He got one of those last fucking week, didn't he?
And then Gardner Minshew, 4 touchdowns and 8 interceptions.
Jesus. Wow.
So how do we feel about Patrick Mahomes being on just about the same level, if not below, Daniel Jones with 6 passing touchdowns and 8 interceptions, and Daniel Jones has 6 with 4 interceptions?
It scares me. To be honest, and it should scare every other fan of every other team in the National Football League because that team is 7-0 right now.
Yeah, they're
and
undefeated.
They're the best quarterback in the league is playing like shit. So it's like, what
Sounds like
happens-
Georgia.
What happens when
And-
Mahomes starts clicking?
Yeah.
Same thing that happened in the end of last year.
It's going to happen. You know it's going to happen. Mahomes is going to start clicking. They just got DeAndre Hopkins.
They were garbage. The wide receiver lined up 42 yards offsides that one play.
Like I don't think DeAndre Hopkins is going to be. I don't know if he'll ever have a 100-yard game in Kansas City, but what he's going to do for the other guys on that offense, Travis Kelce, Xavier Worthy, even Juju's having a resurgent year. Listen, dude, if you're a fan of an AFC team more specifically, but all around just the NFL, like when that team's 7-0,
The one difference is Kelsey has definitely taken a step back this year.
yeah, well,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
been a cruel summer for him.
yeah. You know,
Taylor
he
Swift.
has a reputation right now.
Yeah.
So
And on the flip side of that, for Daniel Jones, crazy stat, he has still not thrown a touchdown pass at MetLife Stadium since the start of last season. In 6 games, he has thrown 0 touchdowns with 8 picks and 3 pick sixes. And that's not
Well,
that's
those are
not all.
3 touchdowns.
on the road,
He's got 129 completions on 206 attempts. So on 206 attempts, he has 0 passing touchdowns
Homie-
at home.
is still paying for his own dinner in New Jersey.
So here's the thing. If I'm Brian Daboll, I'm wearing whites.
Kennesaw State just beat Liberty, by the way.
Who?
Winless
No
Kennesaw
way.
State just beat Liberty. They were
Whoa.
a 28-point underdog
No
at the
way.
house. Shout out Jordan Gibbs for sending that to us here.
Guess what? It sounds like music in Music City, baby. Give me Vandy. Throw the whole damn stadium in the river, Vanderbilt.
Guys, this has been an absolute blast. I want to take a picture before you guys leave, obviously. So make sure you don't storm out of the house, whatever. Drew, maybe be on time. We won't do episodes till 10 o'clock.
It's all right. I appreciate y'all having me here.
You know what I've learned? I don't work right now, so for me, like I could do this till midnight. I wouldn't give a shit. But work is gonna suck regardless, right? Waking up that early to go to work. So I always had that mentality. It was like, dude, if I gotta wake up at 5:30 tomorrow, if I go to sleep at 7 p.m., if I go to sleep at 1 a.m., getting up at 5:30 sucks. So
It does.
it is what it is.
I've been over here yawning for the past 20 minutes.
I'm yawning too, so I know you're tired. So we're gonna end this, guys. Thank you. Some people stuck around. My dad, shout out to you, Dad. Brian Graham was here till the very end. So shout out to you guys.
Your dad has met me before.
We're gonna have a brainstorming. Our next, yeah, absolutely. But he's never had your chicken. And
Really?
my dad's a fried chicken aficionado.
I would have never
Yeah,
guessed
his
with his
three-
three favorite restaurants being the locations of all 3 Popeyes in Bay County. Your dad is a
Off the rip.
legend.
My dad,
Off rip.
my dad, yeah, no, he knows.
He knew the
knows.
streets.
Yeah,
Your dad's from them streets, bro.
he loves his fried chicken. I'm telling
Yeah.
you, man. If you were to make him pick a restaurant, he wants to either go to Longhorn Steakhouse or he wants to go. Which, by the way, as far as chain steaks go,
Pretty good.
Longhorn's pretty good.
Preferred.
He wants to either go to Longhorn or Popeyes. Depends on what the budget is. Sometimes you can go to Longhorn for cheaper than Popeyes. Fun fact. But to each their own. Guys, we're going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week. Another great episode coming down the line. Hopefully we'll be able to start that one on time, Drew. But probably not. Probably not. Drew looks stressed out already about next week.
No, not stressed out. I just had you were talking a minute ago, and I had a memory flashback.
Off the air memory. Got it. All right, guys. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys so much. And yeah, love you guys.